Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming again, hanging out with us tonight, taking your time. We have one conscience. Okay. And Charter, you can go ahead and finish talking. I gotta get a call. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's good? What's good? Yeah, thanks, Katz. Yeah, tonight is the Flat Earth research updates with FPV and One Conscience. We also have Crow hanging out with us. He's one of our panelists tonight. Um, yeah, just an update. One Conscience, just tell us what you've been up to. What kind of updates you have with the earthquake data? Anything unusual, or I don't know. The floor is yours.
Um, okay, so I've been working lately on a few things like straightening out the tectonic plates onto our map. And I've also been looking into different parts of the world that have anomalies that I think are generating our Earth's energy. So I've kind of came to a conclusion that there are two spots on Earth that have liquid mercury underneath of them. One of them is in Mexico, and one of them is in China. They were recently found, and so what that actually makes possible is when mercury is kept at a cold enough temperature, it can cause currents that can make a superconductor, and it can actually levitate things. So that can kind of give you a sense of the amount of energy, kind of what we're working with here. So following that, I went back to my tectonic plates and re-looked at my flows, and what I'm seeing is that our East America side and West Eurasia side are kind of running on two different sets of energy because that's the way it flows. And so kind of thinking it's coming possibly from those areas. I mean, there's a lot of activity in those areas. I can't prove it. I'll probably never be able to prove it. It makes a lot of sense. So I can show you my. Oops. Can you guys see that?
Yeah, all good to go.
So what I did is went back and went to my little Google earthquake 3D, and I literally followed every single line of the tectonic plate, exactly where it's placed, and it straightens out when you do that. So that's kind of how you straighten things out is you have to go to the ball and follow the land masses to make the lines to figure out what's really going on there. Ball them up and they don't make sense. So this is what I have. New Zealand, we all know the pressure heads north. I mean, I've showed that a million times. The yellow lines are my assumptions. Okay, these are things that I cannot prove, and I probably never will be able to. However, based on these trends of how this energy flows, I kind of feel safe doing it now. So, what we're kind of seeing is, okay, is how they kind of match on both sides. So, they both start up, in the corners. We can see I've drawn arrows to show how those pressures flow. So it kind of goes up, hits where it's going to hit from both corners, coming down. So here, Alaska hits the corner, so this corner activated. It wraps around. Right there is where the big quake just hit in Alaska. This corner's been activating for quite a while now. We've seen it through swarms. And if you follow it, it goes over and it hits right there, which is where we got another quaking off California. However, down here it does a little different. So these are where my assumptions are coming in. It actually comes up, hits the Easter Islands and comes over. So anyway, the point is that I'm trying to figure this out, and the energies are definitely coming from these corners going into the corners, and this is our flow. The east and west are separate flows until they hit the center area where they combine. So the earthquakes so far, and you guys will see here in a second how this will correlate into FPV's work. So I went looking into some other things here recently because of different ideas that were presented to me and things that kind of popped up as I look into the energies of the earth. I start finding all these different weird anomalies that we've probably all heard of, you know, fireballs in the sky. I wonder where those come from. Then
You mean the alleged
You're not
SpaceX rockets?
You're not screen sharing anything yet, one, if you're trying to.
Yeah, nothing's on the screen also. But are you talking about the SpaceX, the alleged SpaceX rockets that were launched, or
the one in Michigan?
No, well, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like that, because when I was actually coming home from Chicago, I actually saw something like that. So it really sparked my interest. It flew across the sky. It had a green tail. It looked like a fireball with a green tail. So I've never seen something like that. I've heard about them, but so I added those to my map that I already had. So what I've marked here is our crystal caves, okay, which we talked about those before. And I've found more connections with those, and we have quite a few that run through the United States. I also marked obelisks because I found out that obelisks are made of quartz crystal. So I found that very interesting that governments and past ancients have built these obelisks all over the world, and they are actually amazing harvesters and generators, transmitters of energies. So that's another thing. Also, the pyramids. The pyramids are I believe they are ancient power stations. I truly believe that. I think they're all connected with the crystal caves and such, and the energies are flowing, and they were transmitting them with the pyramids. And I also marked the 2 spots of liquid mercury, which are the 2 black spots, which I found very interesting. And they're both pretty much on opposite sides of the world. Other than how this energy flows, you know, I'm still learning about this, so, you know, there'll be more as I learn. Let me show you my last. So my last little map I made, I actually put volcanoes, dams, and giant tree stumps. It's the mountains that, you know, some people have theorized are giant tree stumps. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but fascinating. So I went and looked into it.
Like Devil's Tower, for instance?
Exactly like Devil's Tower. Yes, very good. And so what I found out is that, you know, if they were giant tree stumps, petrified wood. Well, petrified wood turns into precious gems and stones after so long. That's what happens to it. And there's plenty of websites that anyone can go look that up and see that I'm telling the truth, that this is what people have found. And there's a petrified forest in the United States where some of the uh, trees are at these stones and crystals. So I put those on there to kind of go along with the other stuff. I'm not sure why I keep. So all the orange and red is our volcanoes. I probably haven't got them all marked because there's so many volcanoes. The blue is the dams. Okay. The dams I'm still learning, so I really don't want to go into that yet. I do have some stuff coming up about them, but what I'm really correlating here is say they're giant tree stumps, the mountains that look like them, and how they're still right on the path of our earthquake. This is kind of what I'm trying to show. Just all these different things are going into the same flow of earth energy. That's really what I've been doing. Just takes a long time to gather all the information. I'm going to show you guys this because it was confusing. I'm sorry. It was confusing on my big wall map. So I actually went and did this one on the computer. And it's more simplified because all it is the ley lines. It's actually meeting at the chakra points. So it's actually looks pretty cool. I just wanted you guys to see it without all the different, pins that I have on the wall map that really made it look pretty busy and kind of confusing.
Show
No,
them your wall
like
map
that.
as well once so they can see the wall
Okay.
map version.
Okay.
I mean, the wall map's a whole project in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, the wall map, I had to walk away from it for a little while. It was kind of driving me insane. But so let's see if I can get a good shot of this here. Because it is literally a wall map. I have to. Oh. Okay. So there's the wall map. So you can see all the ley lines that I just went and put on the computer instead. And you can also see the energy flows of the earthquakes. The one I did on the computer is quite a bit more detailed, but I've been spending, like I said, a lot more time kind of going back and doing a little assuming. This map has no assuming on it at all. It's all pure data. And it has the grid from FPVs into it. It's really hard to see, and I have all the angels put on there, and all the red ones are power plants, and they're right on our energy lines. Ones
There's a question in
are the
chat there
weather
for you, one.
modification stations.
I was just going to say that. There's a question in chat. Is HARP in Alaska, and do you have it pinned on your map?
Uh-huh. Yep, weather modification stations right up there.
That's the white pin, yeah.
And actually, every white pin, there's two, because they seem to be two side by side close enough that I couldn't fit pins for every single one. And again, I'm sure I'm missing some because this is an ongoing project that made my eyes start to cross as I did it. So,
Can you pan left a bit so we can see Alaska?
uh-huh. Yep. So there's Alaska. Let me see if I can't get a better view. There we go. Got Alaska, got the HARP stations right there. Whoops. Down in Mexico.
Tell you what to show them. Show them CERN Europe.
Oh, yeah.
Look,
Okay.
that's looking really interesting now.
Yeah, it really is. Let me come. Whoop. Let me come around for this one because I'll get a close up. Come around the table though. So there's CERN. Those are all power stations. There's even the little ones. I just ran out of big pins. I went through like 3 cases, 3 packs of them. But yeah, it looks like little arms coming out of it. And CERN has this, the Alps there, those huge mountains. And these power stations literally sit right on the mountains and come out. Even the red dots of marker are still power stations, but look how many there are. That's insane. It's anyway.
Yeah, what you can see there, guys, if they keep adding more power stations, you'll eventually see the Fibonacci sequence or the flower of life pattern spiraling out from it. That's
what
the
it looks
signature of the
like.
angel. Yeah, that's the signature of the angel technology.
Yeah, it's starting to look like it, but it's really hard to do this. I have to look up every individual one and literally put the dot on the map, and then it's really a very long process. Over here, look at all the power stations we have around, like Japan and Fukushima area and stuff. And most of them sit on angels, so there's an angel hard to see, because I have so much going on there. I have the volcanoes mapped. Actually, the only ones that are on there right now are the ones that were active at that time. But volcanoes run from here, and they actually run all the way across under the ocean, all the way across there in our perfect equator. You guys can look that up on Google Earth and zoom in and see it for yourself, or Google Maps. But yeah, and that's about all I have. I mean, it's kept me quite busy.
A question in chat there. I wonder why they picked Alaska. Is it a key power source? Maybe, I am not sure. Alaska is one of the 4 corners that you'll find referenced in the Book of Enoch or various scriptures. That's one of the 4 corners. Alaska, northeast Russia being the other one. And you've got 2 down at Antarctica, which is, there's your 4 corners. And these are the areas that Enoch would reference as portals. If you've noticed the map before that we use, hold on, I'll screen share it so you can see it. That would be easier. And you'll see what I mean. There you go. That should pop up now. If you can see, I'll get my mouse on the screen so you can see it. There, you see what I mean about the 4 corners? The 4 virtual corners, I would call them. 4 virtual corners. One being Alaska, this one over northeast Russia, and these 2 down in Antarctica. This side here turns out to be, I think it's Rockefeller Mountains, and the other side, I think it's Rothschild Mountains. If you have a look on Google Earth, you'll actually see lots of royals' names and the bushes. There's all kinds of names down here. The list of the guilty, I would call it. But there's your 4 corners, so that's why they're choosing them locations. This bottom left corner, the southwest corner, this is the area in the 1930s that the Germans started planting flags in. So the Germans kind of occupied that area during World War II and afterwards, and still today, in fact, it's still going on. No one's moved out, they're still there. And this area here, in my opinion, is the gateway to the underworld, which leads to all this. All this is below ground. This is the underworld lit up. Apart from the halos, the halos, these are actually in the sky. Everything else is below ground. So the underworld really does exist, and this is what they're hiding. This is why they invented the globe. They wrapped this image around a ball to hide these corners. So all you have to do with the ball to get it back to a flat map is stretch it back out. And where on the ball they've got Alaska, touching northeast Russia, and the real world, the 2 farthest distances apart. We're sure, I don't know if you've noticed any of our other work, but we have shown there is flight routes going up into the north that aren't on radar. They're flipping the data so it looks like they're flying west away from the States, say, and then coming around here on the globe. Well, in reality, that's not happening. It can't happen. They're really flying west for a while, flying north, and then turning east and coming over this way. We've backed that up with data we've seen on the flight radar, and I've also looked at a few other flights where some diverts were caused in midair. One being, I think, a child died on an aircraft, and it made an emergency stop. Well, guess what? It was supposed to be flying from Beijing to somewhere in Europe. The emergency stop happened in northern Russia somewhere. So what the hell was it doing up there? You know, it was way off track. It should have been a straight line flight going across there, say. But it was a location up here. That's the name. I forget the name now. But it's popped up 3 times as you now research this same location. So, you know, it's definitely a route going north, but they're pretending it's going west. And, you know, vice versa. There's hidden routes up here. We talked to Marlena. She's a pilot from Canada. And she's told us she sees flights of aircraft coming from the north. And she doesn't know where they're coming from. Well, these are actually these hidden flights coming from the east over here and then down into the west, pretending they're going around the globe and ending up this side. There's hidden flight routes in the north, and that we presume the same's happening down here in the south. A little bit of information on that for you.
Well, they do the same with the earthquakes. They try to put it off like northeast Russia is what's affecting Alaska, but that's not true, because up there in that little island, that little peninsula off of northeast quakes. And if that was the case and it was a globe, then we would constantly have big quakes like happened in Alaska all the time. And that's not what happens. And I've been watching this for about, 2.5 years now, and that is not what happens, and they can say, oh, if we wrap, because it's so active and because Alaska is always getting swarmed, they're in 2 corners, so they're activating and stuff. Then they wrap it up and they say, oh yeah, look, it's connected, but it's really not. It's actually 2 separate systems going to center, heading north, and probably coming back around. So it's 2 ways they screw up everything with the globe. The flights and the quakes.
Yeah, in fact, I'll play that while you're on form there on the earthquake information. I'll share this one that Ron FE. Big shout out to Ron again. I'll play this so people can see it if you want to talk through it, and then all the earthquake data's together. You see that?
Yep.
Press play and pass it over to you. This is 3 weeks worth of data we've gathered now.
Yep. So what Ron has done, which is amazing, so everybody needs to give him a big pat on the back, is he's took the earthquake data and he's actually it's grabbing on its own and it's animating. So we can look at 3 weeks worth of quakes, and with the color that we have going on here, the blue are the 50 kilometers or less. Then it goes yellow is 50 to 100, orange is 100 to 150, and then red is 150 to 200, and anything deeper than 200 kilometers is purple. So if you watch what's going on as it moves, you'll see clearly that this east coast is not the one affecting Alaska like they want to try to put it off to be on the globe. It is the corner activating. And you can see the blue up there a little bit north of all the swarm. And that follows my lines, how it's coming down from the corner and wrapping around those islands and following the path down through the United States into South America. So it's not moving.
Right. Question in chat there. What about Palin? She can see Russia from a house. I would say she can see a landmass, but she doesn't know what it is, and she sold it to Russia. It's definitely not Russia, or she's got very good eyes.
Holland, where's that at? I'm sorry.
Holland? No, Russia. Someone called Palin says she can see Russia from their house, so she must be somewhere around Alaska looking at Russia. But the landmass she's looking at is
Yeah,
probably
Sarah
not Russia.
Palin. Sarah
Yeah.
Palin was she ran for vice president with John McCain, and one of her things she said was she could see Russia from her house because she was from Alaska.
Yeah, well, she's been lied to while she's in on it, that tells me.
Wait, FPV, how long did the flight take when you looked that up from Anchorage to, how long was that? Remember you looked that up not too long ago, wasn't it like 14 hours?
Yeah, 13 or 14 hour flight, so.
So I'm not sure what is being seen or what people are being told, which is just to keep the globe alive, obviously, but why does it take 14 hours if you can see it? Is my question to the person in chat to fly there.
Yeah, it's you know, if they're in on it, which they are, any country that's got a space agency going is clearly in on it, and Russia have got a space agency, so you know they're part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like most of the astronauts, you know, when they apparently come back from the ISS to land in Kazakhstan, you know, you got the Kazakhstanians helping them carry them out of the capsule as it lands. Well, it doesn't actually land; it falls out of the sky like a brick. Well, there's no one in it; it's probably been dropped from an aircraft. Filmed watching it come down, got the hard landing out, and then the guy runs over and climbs in it, and they lift him out as though he's a hero. Comical, really, isn't it? Yeah, so yeah, the Russians, they're in on it. They've got a space agency, so I wouldn't trust anything they say either.
It's not moving though. The map's not moving.
Yeah, it got to the end of the animation. I'll play it again if you want.
Yeah, because I wanted to see
It's 3 weeks with. Hold on, I'll just forward it a bit. Yeah, it doesn't last long, but there's 3 weeks worth of animation there. It's just one recording per day. I think it's 3 weeks worth. It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every time one moves, you know, that's a day gone by.
Okay, I see. Yeah, it's fabulous work. I didn't really have anything else to say. I just wanted to see it move again.
Yeah, it's nice to watch.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice visual. Yeah, there's a lot of activity there in Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of yellow.
Yeah. Those are a little bit deeper, yeah. But deeper doesn't always mean bigger, so it just means it'll cause something larger.
You can relate the deeper ones to scripture by, what was that sentence again? Satan was cast into the abyss because he was becoming too powerful. Let me translate that for you. The power output from that particular angel technology was a bit too much for the ones nearby, so they had to relocate it further down. They got moved basically. Power output from the destroyer variety of angel is a bit. The power output must be very high, so they had to really relocate it. That's basically what it's telling me. That's what it's telling me anyway, from a technological perspective. It's a human trait for people to give technology a sex and names. You know, take your car, for instance. Is your car male or female? A lot of people out there do that. They call the car a him or a her. It's basically what's happened with this technology. People just give it character and names. But it's technology that's running the show. Does that make sense?
Does to me.
Yeah,
our whole light show in the sky is controlled from below with technology. What this earthquake data is showing you, what it's really happening, when you see these flashing on and off, the earthquake pressure data is actually signals being sent to locations below ground. Over the course of this year, we can track that and watch it switching on and off, and this is what's creating seasons. why we're monitoring.
Crow, you got a question?
It's predictable. Yeah, go ahead, Crow.
No, when you said he or she was, all I was thinking was like Star Trek when you know the guy would say she's a beauty. It's like we do name or give characters to either a ship or a vehicle. Like it does seem like it becomes a character. So I definitely understand where you were going with that. So it did make sense.
Yeah.
So I was just reiterating what you were saying. That was a good point. It's not a machine no more.
No, yeah, it could just be given character, and you can see why. It's when you look at the functions. I don't know if you watched the video where I went through a lot of the functions just off that one technology alone. The winds, the lightning, the earthquakes, the toroidal field, the free energy you can harness from it. It's got a big list of amazing things for one piece of technology alone. It's a masterpiece, it is.
Do you have that?
Definitely not constructed by humans, not on this scale, nowhere. They can copy it. CERN's a copy of one of these. That's why they use Shiva or Satan as the gate guardian. It's basically a copy of that particular destroyer model. You create, you maintain, and you destroy your varieties. So that one's the power output from the destroyer one's obviously quite high compared to the others. Looking at scripture, I have to look at various scriptures with a technological mind to put this together, and that's where it came from. The Nazca lines were a start for me, the clue to it, and I realised they were blueprints to the underworld. And what you can see in the back of that map there, that grid, is from the Nazca line. And I knew once I started applying those to various maps, I went through different maps of trying these until I knew I'd find the correct map one day, and it turns out it's this one. So far everything, real world data, our projections and ideas, you name it, it's working perfect on this map. With not being just off the west coast of Africa. Yeah, the correlation. Plus, you can see where the Mercator maps came from. It's been derived from this map from the start. It's just slightly differs to this map, so you can see where it came from. What you're seeing here, though, is only a third of how large it really is. There's a whole north area of this, the same size you see there, and a whole area south of Antarctica, the same size as you see there. So you've seen a third of what the data is we've got so far. This is the map series. I don't know if you know the story, but what he did with Google Maps, you can see the rounding the images off. So he made an algorithm to square the, put the images back to square as an image should be. You take a photograph, it comes up as a square usually. So he did an algorithm for that, and it produced this map. It straightened the globe out basically into this. So yeah, he done it perfect, and real world data supports it. That's why we use this map. I've tried my work on other maps, and it wasn't making sense until I put it on this one. Because on the E map I couldn't find 4 corners for those locations, so that messed it up straight away. And I did try, and I did actually put it on an E style map with a certain group of people that were working on that particular map, just to show them how it overlays, how my work overlays what they were doing. I put it out there for them to, if it helps, then fine, use it. If not, no biggie, we'll carry on using it. But, best intentions and all that. But yeah, and one came to the same conclusions with her work. I'll let you talk about that one, and I'll just put an image up on screen of yours as well. I forgot to show it.
Well, first of all, I did do the quakes first on the AE map, and I found things that I was really questioning. How did it work? Like the pressure's going so far to hit a different spot. As I straightened it out on this map, it started to make more sense because the pressure wasn't traveling so far before it hit the next place. This image up here, that he's showing is actually the aurora borealis. And we went to their data and we got how it was moving. So it actually does have movement. That's just a still shot on the left of the government shown aurora borealis. And on the right is where we straightened it out. We just took the flows and again followed them very precisely as to where they were touching on each continent. And when we did that, that's how it came out to on the right, which was pretty cool that it looks so perfect in flow, compared to the circle on the top of the globe that doesn't make a lot of sense. But yeah, I did my quakes on the AE map first, and when I put them on this map, it made a lot more sense. And since this point, I did try to, by hand, add a few other things onto the AE map just to kind of make a point, but those didn't work either. The grid didn't work. The quake pressure doesn't work. The corners can't work on the AE map. That's just why we use it. Anybody that has any research or work they're doing, they should just give it a shot on this map, and you might be quite surprised. Like, I don't remember that guy's name. What was that guy's name that put the, remember he had the AE map? Oh, there's all my silly little works. Yeah, I was trying to put the different things on it, and the ley lines didn't really work out. The chakras is the middle one. It didn't really work out. The right one's the quake pressure. None of them really fit or worked out or hit the right places as far as what we see. And
So that
but
wasn't
anyway,
made. That wasn't made to have a dig at the EMAP guys. That was just showing you where Wandsworth was going and not making much sense until she applied it to this other map.
yeah. Yep. So, I mean, that's really the whole point is we have tried it. I mean, he tried it when, on his own, and I've tried things on my own, and that was before we ever met. And when we did meet and get to talking, he gave me a copy of his map just to try my work on. And, now we're here. So there's I can't really see go anywhere else. But if I find flaws, I'm just right along with FPV. If there are flaws, or if anyone has something that they know that points out any flaws, I'd be happy to change to the proper map, because the whole point is finding the truth. It's not really to point out like, oh, I'm right and you're wrong. It doesn't matter to me like that. I don't care. The point is to find the truth of our world. We need to know that. It's important.
Yeah, that's awesome. Going back to the plates, you were talking about straightening out the plates. You're talking about the plate tectonics.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to elaborate a little bit more on that if you can?
Sure. Let me find this one. I have one. Whoops. Where I just straightened them out perfectly off of. Let me find it. I have one that I perfectly straightened out right off of the Google map. I can't find it. Give me a second. I'm sorry.
So lots of updates get for you guys from one alone. Yeah, there's more going on than what you're seeing there. In fact, in the background, we just haven't managed to put it onto video or presentable form yet, or put the ideas into motion. There's a lot of information coming in, so it's a case of prioritizing it all and putting it where it needs to be on the presentations. There you go.
Okay. So this is directly taken off of my Earthquake 3D, and all I did was take the tectonic plates as they show them, which there's a lot more to it than the USGS says information. But I just took their plates and I exactly copied them as they sit around the globe. And this is literally straightening out the ball lines.
I think you dropped out there. One, she dropped out.
Yeah, we can't hear her.
Oh, I think I don't know what happened. Sorry. I got dropped or something. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
kind of froze for a sec.
Yeah, just take it from the top.
Okay. So, yeah. So this is the tectonic plates, completely straightened out off of my Earthquake 3D app. Okay. And all I did was literally take them and follow where they lay on the line, on the continents and stuff, and literally straighten them out. And that's where I got my assumptions. So when you look at them, you can totally see why I got my assumptions. They come from the corners. All of them come from the corners. And when you straighten it out, this is what it looks like. So, was there anything else specific you wanted to know about it? I mean,
No, that basically answers my question. Go ahead, Crow.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't have a question.
I'll put this on screen for you guys while we're straightening things out. This is the ring of fire straightened out. It's not actually a ring. It's on two opposite sides of the world. And if you follow the lines of them, they just head back towards the corners.
I noticed there are a lot of on the ocean shorelines.
I was just going to say, right across the equator, one noticed there's lots of volcanic activity in volcanoes right along the equator. So they kind of connect to each other by volcanoes underground. But yeah, they're on two opposite sides of the world, so there's no ring of fire really. This is it opened out to what it should really look like. And they just hide in the four corners again because you can see where it's leading.
Yeah, I can show you that too with this map I made. This one is volcanoes. See where they're all placed? And I didn't go zoom into Google Earth to get all the ones in the water, but you can do it. You guys can go do it yourself and take, there's volcanoes. These are the orange ones. And it runs all the way across. And that is the truth. Just go zoom in and you'll see they look like little tiny hills, volcanoes. You can tell that they're little volcanoes when you zoom into the water. See them. But that's our equator.
Yeah, they're there. Have a look on Google Earth, guys. Scour the seabed, you'll see them. They're everywhere. There's more than I thought there was. I thought, I just thought there were little dimples and mountains until one actually told me there were volcanoes.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, there's a lot of volcano on the west side of the shorelines, all the way to even South America. It's fascinating how there's just so many.
In fact, when you look on the mimic map, you'll notice the equator. It's like it's live all the time. The water's like superheated around them regions, and you can see where it's coming from. There's volcanoes down below. That's what's eating all the water up. So that explains why it always looks like there's a line of fire going across the equator on the mimic map. It really is heating it up. I've got some mimic map work to show you coming up.
Yeah, they're in South America where all those volcanoes are. It's always getting hit by earthquakes too. And that piece of land is actually like 2,000 feet up. It's a big drop off because so many quakes hit there and stuff.
I'm just going to go and grab a drink, guys, and then I'll start showing you what I've been doing. Back in a few minutes.
Yeah, you guys, thanks for that. We need people to track the sun in Alaska to see what's going on over there. Which direction is it going in? Is it looping around? I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole, the 24-hour sun.
The midnight sun?
Yeah, and I'm still having a hard time trying to wrap my head around how this works and what this data that they have is it's presenting here. It's just I'm just trying to make sense of that part. You know what I'm saying?
You're trying to connect the dots and how it
Yeah,
would
it's just
work.
yeah. I mean, there's something to it, obviously.
I agree.
Yeah,
I would love to see some sun and moon work. That's just one thing I don't know a lot about. I would
It's
love to see.
pivotal, though. You know, the
Yes.
trajectory of it, and it'll. So I know a lot of people are wondering the same thing because we've seen it, but you guys see that there's no real interconnection with the AE style map. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe the land masses and everything else needs to be pushed out further. Maybe there's more to the center. I, I don't know. You know.
well, the map's coming out from the wrong perspective, really. You know, if you're going to do a map, just base it on the land masses and not have north in the centre. You know, when you look at north in the centre, we basically scalped the globe and tried to make a map from what's left. So
Yeah, and you know the ice wall, the
yeah,
alleged
looking at it
ice
from
wall
our
has never
perspective.
been really proven either.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
know,
they're talking about Cook. Cook worked for the.
well, there's a mountain down there named after him, so I wouldn't trust him anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, some of these tales. You know.
Sorry to
What's up,
interrupt.
cats?
In chats, they're saying they can't see Avatar on one. I don't see it either. So I don't know. I mean, we can see it on the panel, but I can't. We can't see out in the chat. Not even what she was, putting up on the screen as well. We didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Mm-mm. We can see it in the panel, but not.
Did you see the map?
No.
Oh, well, I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Oh, and we were talking about the how she straightened out the plate tectonics. Basically, that part.
Ginger says.
I'm just looking back. I can see it was about 7 minutes ago. But I can see the tectonic plates bit. So I think it's one's avatar they're not seeing on the panel.
Yeah.
If you look at the panel in the watch page, you can't see one. Yeah, we can see it on the panel.
It's like I don't know. We can't see her.
Stealth. She's in stealth mode.
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes popping in and out helps, but as long as they can hear her, you know. And they did when you did screen share. That was broadcasted for everybody to see, right?
Hold on, guys. Apology to Albert in chat. He came into there and says, I remember FPV on the Sun and Moon group was very rude when I asked him the question. Yeah, you just got us at a bad time, mate, because we've been arguing with a few guys previously about the map. I know where you were coming from, and yeah, you can, you know, if that map works for you, go for it. I'm not telling you to stop your map. I'm just saying consider this one, or try overlaying your work with this map, because we're finding out if we can correlate perfectly with this map. But if you want to stay with the E map, that's entirely up to you.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, you have to just keep moving things around until it fits. But that's not a true projection either. So it's a work in progress for both maps. You know?
Okay, 1 year on. We see you now.
That worked. Yeah, popping out and in sometimes does that. In and out. My bad.
Right, I'll show you what I've been busy with, shall we? Was that map? Hold on. Press play and guide you through this. Make sure it's playing. Yeah, looks good. You see that? Right, just keep watching. I'm going to familiarise you with what's going on at Nazca, Peru. And when you talk to people about Nazca, you know, you mentioned the geoglyphs and lines. Straight away, most people start thinking about the geoglyphs. There's a lot more to it than that. So this one is called making connections. As you can see there, connections being made. Because what's there, what you're looking at there, these are connections from what's going on at Nazca. But not only that, I need you to see these images, what they're really showing you. You know, this is structure with depth, and these are basically the blueprints of what it's showing you. Now, in each of these images, there's a common theme. I'll let you see if you can guess it. There's a common theme to every one of these images that's going to come up on the screen. These are the Nazca lines. This is what it's making. And a lot of people probably don't realize what it is. You know, they maybe haven't seen them like this. But this is structure with depth, and it's in the underworld, and this is what's being signaled to. And looking at the images, you know, some of you guys up there, or even some of you women, you might recognize what these are. You will by the time you get to see the last one, don't worry, you'll guess it by then. Hey Jimbo, how's it going, mate? I can see Jimbo in chat. You might guess what these are. But these are what the Nazca lines are creating when you draw them all, draw them all, attach everything together, and how they link to each other on that grid. But what you should be noticing is there's a common theme with each one of these. But I'll wait till the end before I tell you what it is and see if any of you guess it before then. So you can see now, you know, it's not just random lines. This is detailed structure blueprints that you're looking at. There, you see how obvious that one is in the center? That antenna. These are antennas, guys. These blueprints are showing you how things in the underworld are communicating back and forth. And these are various antennas that do it. This is what these blueprints are. Now these are the connections that these antennas make. There's the whale. Yeah, these are the connections that's going on with these various blueprints and how they connect to each other. And don't forget, the geoglyphs are actually pinpointing locations on our world where there's something of extreme interest below ground. They're markers. And that's when you need to be making the connections of what I've been trying to show you. I'm trying to show you what these blueprints really are. There's structure down below, and it's doing massive amounts of signaling, and we're able to pick it up on the mimic map and record it. I've overlaid them here on the map. You know, these are just random. I've just chucked them on the map there to show you. I know the one in that one there on the left, I know that was correct, because that geoglyph of the antenna is actually called the solar clock. You notice how it's over Alaska. Very apt, I think, because there's a lot going on there. That's the northwest portals there. So there, if you look at that, you know, it's probably wrong. I've just chucked it on the screen to try and make some overlays out of it. Eventually, I'll get it in the correct order and manage to put all the geoglyphs where they need to be. The problem I've got at the moment is that the geoglyphs aren't numbered, whereas everything on this is. And we have a mismatch of numbers, but it doesn't matter, because I know where some of them already go, like that one in the northwest portal, or the monkey with the antenna goes on South Africa. You know, once you line them up, the others should fall into place. I've done that on a previous video, but there is more to add. There's more geoglyphs now and structure going outside of our realm that I'm finding in Nazca still. You know, this is in our realm. There's stuff north, south, east, and west of this, not even on the map. It goes beyond our realm. The information that I'm seeing at Nazca. Doesn't that look like a submarine? It might be a submarine. That would have seen it. I wonder if that's where they got the design of the submarines from. So yeah, you see the antenna design, the small antenna there? This is what's transmitting everything that you're going to see on the mimic map coming up. Various antennas and how it relates to what's going on in the world, and how it links to the switching of the technologies that's causing the earthquakes. You know, when they come online, they cause earthquakes and tremors, and then they'll settle down for a while. So it's to show you correlation, and but not only that, the detailed structure of what these Nazca lines are really trying to show you. So it's probably a surprise for a lot of you there. You maybe didn't realize this is what's actually at Nazca, Peru. I'll just pause this image a sec. Right, now going back to the signaling, you notice that signal there coming up from the left, the bottom left. It's like a trident-shaped signal. And it goes to hit a location off the west coast of Africa, which then retransmits a signal slightly northwest of Africa. You can see it going up there. Getting into crop circles, you know, I thought, what kind of antenna would transmit a trident-shaped signal? Not to mention the other one above it. I was looking at some of the crop circles, and that one there, I thought, well, there's a perfect one. That would send out a trident-shaped image. I think some of these crop circles are real. I'm not sure how they're put there. I don't know if it's people putting them there, or is it something in nature that's programmed to happen. They just keep turning up, and when I looked at crop circles, I'm surprised to find out 80% of them are fake, which means there's quite a high percentage not fake. You know, 20%. It's quite a lot. You know, I expected it to be a lot lower than that. There's 20% of crop circles apparently not fake, and when you start looking at some of them, they're that detailed and meaningful, and and you can actually relate shapes to what's going on here. Start to wonder, is that why they made GMO? Is GMO an attempt to stop these things showing? That crossed my mind. Might be nothing, but I thought I'd put that out there. It could be GMO. So anyway, let's see how that relates to the world map. So we've got that signal on the left, signaling. Say it's 613, it would signal to 616, going by what you see in there. I'm just using this as a reference, it's not the correct order. But it'd be like 613 sending a signal to 616, which then retransmits to 592. That's kind of what's happening on the screen there. On the left, if you follow that through, it's doing the similar pattern to what I showed you there. Although this isn't correct, this is probably parts of a structure, but I'm showing you how these actually link into our realm. There's connections to be made, and it's just a case of getting all this in the right order, and then you'll see how it's firing. Check out this one here. If you can see my mouse, follow the mouse up going up towards Africa, you'll see a line. See that there, signal? Right, I'll zoom in on that and show you what's going on. That signal's coming from Antarctica. If you look above Africa, you see it going up there. Zoom in a bit more. So it's coming up over Africa, sir, and it's hitting Malta. Not Malta, what's that place? But name that place. But anyway, it's going to Sicily. Place before it, I can't think of the name now. It could be Malta. But yeah, if you look at that, it's going up here and then split into three different paths. I'll show you where it's going in a sec. Hold on. Keep watching. Right, this is what's going on here. I'll pause it when it gets there so you can see what's happening. Right, so it's coming up, it's hitting Mount Etna, branching left towards Rome. The one that went straight ahead is hitting the Bosnian pyramid, and the one that was going right branching towards Greece and going off towards the Middle East somewhere. So there, you can see direct contact with a volcano there. One over here is either Alban Hills volcano or Vesuvius. I'm not sure which one it was. I just know it went that direction. And looking at news reports, they said this old volcano, extinct volcanoes, there might be a probability it's going to erupt. Well, if it's getting signals like this, it seems to be activating it. It's activating something over there anyway. That's what we've been trying to say. These signals are switching technology on. Something to do with the Bosnian pyramid got activated or deactivated. Something happened over here, and something went over there. If you go back to the map, where you see the, hold on, I'll just rewind it a sec so you can see the map. So what happened there correlates with this grid. A signal was sent to this, it followed up right across, went there and split into three. You can see how it's using this center part of this grid, this network. And these here, I found the connect. These are actually volcanoes. So this angel technology is below these volcanoes in this centerpiece. There's 33 what we would call angels in that centerpiece alone. You've got your primary one, which is connected directly to 0.0, which is the source, whatever, that's the power source running everything. So the primary 8 around it connect to the center. And of course, the center's number 9. So you get 9 primaries. And the secondaries are these ones that's off it that don't seem to be connected to anything, but can be activated by radio transmissions. So they can run independently or switch. It's a very complex system to work out what's going on. But there is all this switching, all this earthquake data, it's all connected to this grid, switching on and off. Right, we'll carry on from that. If you've got questions, just stop me and ask. If not, I'll plow through it. Where we are. Right, so we're up there now. So that would be what it looks like from, if we zoom out the map we're using. There you go. You've got this, sending a signal up that way. This is just one of many. You're going to see a lot more signals going around on this map shortly. I'll leave it playing. And again, look, this is coming from the southwest corner, southwest portal. Here's some more signals. Watch these. See all the different kind of signals going on. But you'll find they're usually always going to the same locations. You see that one? A huge one there. How many of these are thousands of miles wide, these signals? You just put them on there so you can see some of the different ones that's going on. Little ones here, large ones down here. There's a lot of activity. If you look through the Mimic Map database, just pick dates and look for them, and you'll find all this going on. This one's Easter Islands. Check this one out. There you go, Easter Island. Now, like I said, I started looking at the crop circles. This is a crop circle here, by the way. If you look at it, it's what it's saying here. It's capable of receiving data. Think of that as data transmissions. It's receiving it, it's converting it to something in here, and then it's outputting it as a signal, which I think is what's creating this signal. Look at the shape of this. That would create that kind of signal, I would imagine. It might be nothing. It might not have anything to do with crop circles, but these types just seem to keep popping up.
It looks like a satellite at the end. The when you says signal.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the shape of it, that's why I think that one. I'm just trying to match things up. I think that one would be the signal sent from the end of this, or it could be a satellite. Yeah, But when you look at this, that definitely tells me it's capable of receiving data. It looks like it's being sent data, and it's going to retransmit it. Could be nothing, but it's you've got to look at everything. And I've looked at crop circles before, and some of them, either someone knows something about them and puts them out there, or maybe it is something that comes through nature. It's a tough one, that. Same with this one. Look, this information, these geoglyphs, they could be data being transmitted to this, and then it retransmitted on. I think that's what this could be depicting. It's basically an antenna. You look at the Nazca lines, they're antennas. Same with this one, it's an antenna. And if you look at this one, I'll pause it. It's actually got crystals, which radio equipment does use. They look like crystals to me. It's transmitting something into crystals to change the frequency, and then outputting it as whatever signal that's going to be. And you look on that map, there's a lot of weird signals going across that map I've never seen before, ever. You see a lot of signal patterns, but you see ones on that map that I've never seen. You don't expect to see some of them signal patterns going out, but they're there on the map. So yeah, I was just looking for correlation of is there anything to these crop circles like that one there? That one could be the one that's responsible for the one over Easter Island, similar pattern, or it could be nothing. It's just strange. Some of them work out and start matching certain things when you look at them. Right, here's a tour on the seabed. See that antenna? That's on the seabed. You'll see these in Google Earth. If you're not sure what they are, these are antennas. Because remember, we're on communications here. It's all about communications, the Nazca lines, and what and where. These have been mapped out previously on the seabed, and they're huge, and I mean huge. The Nazca lines are the bigger picture scaled down into geoglyphs and lines. But if you start looking around Google Earth, you're going to see all these on the seabed, and the connections. You should be making the connections we are. They connect to the four corners. It's communications going on, and these are pinpointing them basically in the underworld where they are. Below there is what's that's telling you what's below there basically. They're not on the surface, so yeah, definitely an underworld, and this is what's down there. And look at this. This particular group, we head towards Australia and Tasmania. You've seen them. That's a row of antennas. God knows how long that is. It's probably thousands of miles. I'll zoom in on that one in a minute. And you can see that you follow the lines and start filling them in. You start getting the structure, or your ley lines, or whatever you want to call them. Check out these ones. Smithsonian Undersea Edens. That little dot there, clicked it, and that's what came up. There's an antenna. Here's more structure. More ley lines leading in and out of, looks like this point here. More lines on the seabed. 1.1 miles wide. So that yellow line, what was it? That little yellow line, That's just over a mile wide. So they're not cables, you know. They're not cables. So it comes. We don't lay cables over a mile wide. Long, yeah, but not wide. These are markers. Like I said, the Nazca lines, they do physically stretch out from Nazca across the world. And this is them, you know, these are on the seabed. 1.69 miles wide, that line there. And if you go to Google Earth, you'll find these. There's an antenna on the seabed. Look at the size of this. That yellow line from there to there is nearly 4.5 miles wide. How big is that antenna? I think the boom's about 70 mile wide.
Some of those look like old cities, perhaps. Also, I mean,
Definitely antennas. You know, that's what I'm seeing at Nazca. Antennas everywhere. Those blueprints I showed you, they were antennas. Various designs of antenna. Yeah, this is one I'm pulling out with the Nazca lines myself. I've been going over this area, filling the lines in to see what it is. You know, I'm still finding new stuff there today. You can see there, it's a design for an antenna. Go back a bit. Definitely a design for an antenna. And you can see more lines. You should be able to see them. You see them, they're everywhere. On Google Earth, that's what I'm saying. These things, they're not unique to just Nazca. They do travel out of Nazca and across the world, the lines. You know, you just got to follow and see where they go and see where they end up, basically. I'm playing the wrong clip here, by the way. There's another part somewhere that it's missed. Doesn't matter. So yeah, that's where we're going with the Nazca lines. So you can see the correlation between the antennas. It's all about the antennas. I'll just share this other thing. Hold on. And I'll show you what about the geoglyphs. Find the image. I can't find it now. I've got images. I've got that many images, I get lost with them now. I've got folders full of images. Doesn't matter.
yeah, just take your time. You know, I'm sure you got it there somewhere. What do you think, Crow? What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, I mean, I'm this is brand new to me, so I'm just taking it all in. I mean,
there you go. There's
a lot of design patterns.
There's the geoglyphs that I've previously mapped onto the world map. I don't know if you've seen them before or not, but I think that's a close representation of where they would be on our world map, them particular ones. You know, the monkey at South Africa, it's got an antenna in its hand. You can see signals go there. The monkey relates to Africa. It's a case of lining up these animals and things where they need to be. And I think that's pretty close what I've got there. Hold on a sec. I'm just trying to find that other image. Hold on.
What about you, Katz? What are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? Wow, it's a lot of info to take in, really. I'm just listening, really. And you? Oh.
Yeah, I found it. Eventually.
I'm just adding more to what he's been sharing with us. Yeah, shout out to the chat, everybody. Everybody for chilling out.
Right,
Hanging
guys.
with us.
There
Yeah.
you go. That's what I've kind of decoded so far. The aerial transmissions of the birds. The ground transmissions are the animals that would walk on Earth, and the fish or marine life is the marine transmissions. There's 3 different types of transmissions there alone that we can see on the mimic map. Anything below that we can't see, obviously, but that's how I'm breaking it down. You know, aerial transmissions being birds. In fact, when you look at the line of direction the bird's facing is the line, the direction the signal is going to go. That's how you work them out.
Yeah, it
Like
kind of reminds me of. Sorry
like
to interrupt.
The parrot at the bottom left there, its signal will be going down to the left if you look at the way it's facing.
It kind of reminds me of South America, those Nazca lines. Are you familiar with them?
With where?
Those Nazca lines. Trotter,
Yeah,
do you know?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
these are.
Okay, I was gonna just say that that's what they're reminding me of right now.
I've been decoding them.
Oh.
That's what all these lines and geoglyphs are. The blueprint. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The blueprints to our underworld and how
Yeah.
it works, and how things transmit and what have you. Hold on a sec. I've got a phone call.
Yeah, Crow. That's basically what he did with the Nazca lines. He used that to find these PowerPoint locations, and he's just been doing these overlays. There's all this correlation going on as well, like he's been talking about, and same thing with One Conscience. She's been collaborating and getting her work with him, and there's just a lot of dots that are being connected, basically.
I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, phone call.
It's a lot of information. It is a lot of information.
We can see now how it all relates to radio transmissions or signaling. That's what these particular geoglyphs are. I mean, the other ones, of course, you know, there's ones out there don't mean anything to do with signals or transmissions, so I've got them to work out. But these ones are pretty easy, you know, aerial transmissions being the birds, ground transmissions being things on the ground. Now, to get more in depth on that would probably be one's department, because now you're talking signals going through rock, you know, iron ore, crystals. I'll let you explain a little bit about crystals, one, yeah?
Well, what I've been learning about crystals, and honestly, I'm going to give a shout out to Jimbo, because he's the one who gave me the initial information that crystals can transfer energy really, really well. They're very good conductors. Sorry, I was kind of spacing off there. Listening to him. I was
He's asking if, where's the question again? I've lost the question now. Where was it? Animals indicate locations. Yeah. The like the monkey, you know, I've placed the monkey at the bottom of South Africa for a reason. It's receiving signals there. If you look at its tail, it's a halo. So it's telling you it can receive signals and activate the halo or the angel technology below, which projects the halo into the sky. And they all do that, you know, it's not just unique to the monkey. They're all sending signals to either activate or deactivate technology. And if you put it over the right location, you know, you can pinpoint what's where. Like the dog, that would be Mount Kilimanjaro, roughly that region in Africa. I can't read what that says. That bird with the long beak and the squiggly bit near its nose. That there's up above Alaska. So it's sending signals way north of Alaska, outside of our known realm. That second bird up on the left. You know, once you look at the hummingbird, that's the one that sends signals to Easter Island and also another location. There's 2 of them on the map. That bird, you know, if you look at the Nazca lines, you'll notice the hummingbird's beak's actually touching a square structure. So basically, what that geoglyph's telling you is it sends signals to that structure, and you know what's there. It's going to activate something. It's, you know, it's automated, computerized kind of system, and over the course of a year it switches things on and off, and we can monitor that on the map by Ron F.E. made Ron. You can see it happening, and over the course of the year, we'll see the seasons change and what's getting switched on and what's getting switched off. That's the plan, anyway. That's the plan of action. Monitor that and keep building on what we've got and check everything. We've got to look at all data. And like Juan says, we need sun and moon experts or luminary experts to, overlay their work on this map to see how it works. But we do think it works as described in the Book of Enoch. The four corners being what you would call portals. Well, if you look at the four pillars that Ceres located and put the magnetic data on his map for, it's basically four kind of shaped mounds below ground that stretch out up in the north and down south, and they kind of mold into the center of the ground at the center. But yeah, there's connections and things going on there that his data shows. Now he's reading it different to what I would. He's coming at it from the 4D perspective, but the way we're doing it, it works absolutely fine in 3D. We don't need extra dimensions. The dimensions I'm seeing is these halos that are projected into the sky. They're multi-layered. So the first layer would be like for the sun and moon, second layer for Mercury, say, and so on and so forth. So you've got various layers with various luminaries in. And if you've watched our videos before, you will see these halos in the sky. They call them sun dogs. They're not sun dogs. It's projection technology, and CERN is a reverse engineered one. As above, so below. You've got the physical coil below ground projecting an electromagnetic halo into the sky. And the sun and moon use these for navigating the heavens. I haven't decided yet, is the sun and moon really there, or are they projections from below as well? How do you tell? The sun and moon might actually be physically in the sky where we see them. They might be going around this coil below ground, and we're just seeing the projection in the sky. So there's that option, or they really are navigating around them in the sky. But what the sun and moon are, don't ask me, I don't know. I'm no expert on those.
Yeah, so also just showing real fast what you were talking about, the crystals and the signal, if everyone can remember the signal that you just showed them. So, remember where it hit? See what's there? We have pyramids, obelisks, we have crystal caves, all in the exact spot where the magnetic data that you just showed real time, you recorded that over the last few days, hit in that exact spot where all this energy is. So it's kind of proving that these crystals are absorbing it and transferring it in a way, because obelisks are made of quartz crystal, if everyone didn't know that. And then crystal caves have crystals, all different forms, and pyramids. Well, I don't know. Whoops, I don't know enough to say. I think I read somewhere that they are made of crystal too, but I don't really want to say that as a fact because I don't remember. But yeah, there's the correlation and the proof with the real-time data that area is energized.
100%. Question of Jim. In fact, Jimbo mentioned secondary emissions there. You just reminded me, Jimbo, you were saying about the primary and secondary light. Well, when one was doing the tectonic plate overhaul and putting it on this map, we come to thinking that these plates, not one angel gets activated. The whole plate, the whole grid does that. That grid or that plate becomes live. And I think when they come online, that's producing what you would call daylight, and the sun is the secondary light coming around it. So, I think it was you, Jim, but they said there's a secondary light, there's a primary light, and it's not the sun. Well, that would say, if that's how it works, and it's activating one grid after another as it goes around the sky, that's it would make sense. One grid comes online, or one plate, say, all the technology in that plate comes online. The sun or moon or whatever moves around it, and then it'll move to the next. That plate will switch off as the next one comes online. And that's that you can correlate that to the earthquake data, track it, following it, going from plate to plate. So we think the whole not just one piece of technology is coming online, but the whole plate. Any technology on that plate becomes live and active, and I think that's how you might get the primary source of daylight. You know, if there's two, if what you're saying is that the sun's at the secondary source, then what's the primary source? It's got to be the plate coming online, hasn't it? Bringing the light as the sun brings its own light as it comes onto that grid and goes around the halos. Makes sense to me. Show evidence of what, Albert? Don't talk rubbish, mate. I'm talking real data. Real world data's backing up what we're talking about. Any questions? What I just said about the plates coming online. Yeah, that would make sense. A plate coming online, activating a group of halos. The sun moves onto them, moves around. Okay, halos. I'll show you some I don't know if you've seen the halo videos with the sun going around them. I'm pretty sure you've seen a sun dog. Well, it's not a sun dog, it's a halo projected from below. And you'll find the sun and moon use them. In fact, everything up there is using them. Barry shows them up. If you haven't watched it, watch some of our previous videos. There's videos on it. People filming in various halos around the world. And you'll find that the sun's navigating around them.
The Earth also has a steady flow of energy. It's just a steady, very low flow. No one would ever feel it, but I don't know if that's connected, but there is just a steady flow of energy, and it picks up as things excite. But then other than that, it kind of fades back down when things aren't excited, but it's still flowing. It never stops.
We've already showed evidence of the halos and the sun using them, Albert. It's on one of the previous videos. They're everywhere. That's what we've been showing people on the map. It's projection technology, and if you look at CERN's configuration, you'll find it matches it perfectly. They've copied one. Anyway, I've got to jump out and give me brother a lift, guys. I'll be back in about 20 minutes. So chat among yourselves.
Awesome. Thank you, FPV, for that presentation.
Yeah, I'll be back soon. It'll take us about 20 minutes to get in there, but I won't be long.
Awesome. Awesome. So what else, One? What else you got for us?
Really nothing unless anybody has any questions that I can answer.
If Crow or Katz wants to give, or even you want to give shout out to the people in chat.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for joining, because it's cool that everybody's interested in what we're doing. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? The things.
I was going to ask you, what is the map that you were using this? I mean, is like the Mercator map or?
Well, the one that I bought and put on my wall is a Mercator map. Yes,
Okay,
it was the closest.
But it's not. Oh, it's the closest. Okay.
Yeah, the one on my wall, but the one I use on my computer is the actual map of FPV and series.
Okay, and now is this the map that you think the world is like, or
It's the
how
map.
it works?
It's the map of how the world that we know about and live in works, that I can tell. As for the sun and moon, please don't ask me because I don't track those. But I think it would be cool if somebody that did tried it. And, I've always said, FPV said, and I agree 100%, if there's a flaw, this is about truth, So
it seems like this is the next step would be the progression would be the sun and the moon to see how it will fit.
Yeah, it has to. I mean, it
Yeah.
has to be. And we have, I mean, he has, Sandra doing a sun tracking for a little while. Her and I don't know how many people or who's joined in with her, but
Mm.
they have a little group going on with the P900s, and they're trying to do the sun tracking to, try to see exactly how it flows. And I think she was trying to get people from all around the world to join in, so that would be a big help. Anybody that has a P900 wants to join in with her.
Yeah, I would love to get one.
Yeah, me too.
So I mean, I just think when the weather gets better though, so I can actually get out there. I was supposed to get one last year, but I needed a car more. But yeah, it's very fascinating. Oh man, gotta see how the sun and moon works on it. And like you said, you guys will, if it doesn't add up, then it just doesn't add up. And so you gotta probably start over. And if it fits, it fits. So, but that's why you gotta do more research on it.
I don't think it would be like starting over
Yeah,
if there was a flaw with this map, because the data that I've gathered is real world data. It would
yeah,
just, if there was a flaw, which I do not see one yet,
yeah,
then it would just be a matter of transferring the data over,
yeah.
really,
Can you?
because
Sorry. I was gonna just ask you, like, can you explain maybe a more simpler way to the listeners how the data you're collecting proves how it works in this map? You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense because I'm trying to think. Because right now, I'm pretty sure people are thinking, this is totally against the AE or even the go,
well,
so.
well, the data that I collect is earthquakes, okay, and so I've been, looking at earthquakes for probably 2.5 years, getting on, and it was before I even learned about flat Earth. So I actually go into the Earthquake 3D app and track these earthquakes every single day. I mean, every single day, you have to think about that. Every single day, I'm tracking these earthquakes and putting these dots on the map, and it's a trend. They're exactly hitting in the same spots.
Mhm.
So that's how I've come up with these extras that I've added to my map, is because I'm putting these dots here every single day, and I have 9 weeks. I'm in my ninth week worth of earthquakes that I personally have mapped. Ron has taken it and made it animated and stuff, but I'm still doing my maps where I'm tracking them every single day, and then I have them saved as a weekly, and then I'm watching this flow progress and move. I'm
Mhm.
watching the swarms happen that's showing activation in different areas. And then I'm sharing all this with FPV, and it's fitting into where he already has these things placed. Does that make sense? Because we don't sit on the phone or on these chats and just sit and compare data. I'm doing my work. And when I come up with a different map, I send it to him and he says, holy cow. And he sends me what he's been working on. And we're like, wow. So this stuff is matching together in that way also. My data is matching together because these earthquakes do happen. We see
Yeah.
them happen. We feel them happen. We know they happen. We could call somebody in any country and ask them, did you have this earthquake? And they will say yes. So it's not like I'm just making it up or putting lines on a map. I'm tracking this data
Mhm.
out of the real world given to us data.
Now, the data that you've been gathering does not work on a globe. Would that be a fair assessment?
It does not,
Okay.
because
And
what I
what would
explained.
be the reason?
Well, the two corners, the
Yeah.
north,
Okay.
yeah, the where it's Russia and Alaska
Hmm.
would have to hit. Like I was saying, when you actually go and watch these quakes and look at the depth of these quakes, that little peninsula at the north east corner of Russia that kind of hangs down there. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a geologist, but um, just to the west of that in the water, there's always deep earthquakes, deep, large earthquakes, like deep fours. So when you understand earthquakes, a deep four would lead to a shallower, say, 5 or 6. Well, that doesn't happen in Alaska all the time. It doesn't happen as many times as a deep earthquake hits in that spot and gets bigger and bigger. And in all the times that I've watched that happen, Alaska just now finally got a large earthquake. And it should have happened over and over and over if those two places were touching or even close. And that's one of my biggest proofs that I've come up with over doing this is that the globe is not possible in these quakes. They also say it goes in a complete circle. They say that, but it doesn't. What it does is comes in from the outskirts and meets at the center and flows upward. And you can watch that happen because if you go in and watch these quakes every single day, there's times on them. So you can actually track when they hit. Not only that, but there's also a little thing they have on this Earthquake 3D that you can click a button and it'll actually show you the order they hit in. It'll bang them out in that order. So there's all these different things that I'm watching that I can't put on these maps to show people how this is working. And it is confusing for people that don't know all the background that I'm sitting and doing, you know?
I'm trying to think in my head, like, so like just say hypothetically Detroit has an earthquake. You're saying that Ohio should get some kind of...
Well, Ohio gets earthquakes, and that's due to fracking. Yeah.
But what I'm saying, like, they're so close to each other that there should be a correlation with those, you know, two, like, you know, Detroit has a big earthquake, that Ohio would register some kind of, right?
Yeah.
And that's what, but you're not seeing that with Alaska and Russia, correct?
Right.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get across to people that are listening, that it should be registered on both accounts, and that's why you're not seeing it, and so that's why it wouldn't work on the globe.
Yeah. So here's the spot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So right here we have this little peninsula. See it sticking down right here. So right here, literally right there are constantly, so often, very deep earthquakes that happen. And I'm talking in the 300 to 600 kilometers down. You know, it does vary. And they can go and range between 3s to 5s and sometimes a little larger. Well, if a 5 being that deep hit, and it was a globe, we would get 6s to 7s right here all the time because they would be connected through those islands.
And
that
plates.
doesn't happen. Okay. It doesn't happen. So, you know, what does happen, and I watch it, and you can see the magnetic data. I actually watched it slink down on the magnetic data that FPV was showing, because when you go to that mimic map, you can select different areas of the Earth to watch. And if you go to, you can see the magnetic data slink down and around and wrap just like that. And that's what I saw happen. And that's when I started to realize, truly, holy cow, it's coming down from, I mean, it truly is. Like, I suspected it, but I didn't want to assume. And you can go back and watch any of these videos. I have chosen not to make assumptions because I didn't see anything that was proving 100% without a doubt that this is what's happening until I caught a glimpse of that magnetic data just recently. And then I'm like, that's it. And I knew it, but now I have proof, you know? So.
Okay, there's a chat. Kat, I can't see the question. Is there a way you can put it so either Trotter or I can see it? But okay, so that's why I wanted to clear up, and that's why you guys are using this map as opposed to the globe. And since it doesn't work on the globe, this is why it doesn't work on the AE, correct? Because the AE is pretty much a flat globe.
Yeah, I mean, it's flat with the north in the center, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like a smushed down one,
Yeah.
just
But I mean, roughly, yeah.
so it still has a lot of the.
But Russia is still close on an AE map to Alaska on an AE.
Yeah, and so, I didn't even think about that part, so you actually just pointed that out.
Yes.
Yeah, that would work just like the globe, and
Yeah.
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that's why I want to clarify to everybody so that people can,
Hey,
what you're presenting to people so they can see, why it's not working and
hey,
should
one.
raise questions. Sorry, Cass, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Crow. One, there's a
Yeah.
question for you if you would like to see it and answer it, please. It's from
Okay.
Geo Love.
It's from who? Oh. So I think the earthquakes are caused by electrical releases within the earth along with the magnetic flux lines. I don't sense that tectonic plates have anything to do with the earthquakes. What do you all think? Well, what I think is the tectonic plates are the grooves that have been made from those things happening, from the elect the electrical currents and the electromagnetism currents, and then they put these grooves that they follow because it's a constant and they always go through the same paths. They always hit at the same spots. And if you were to take, say a bolt of lightning and hit the same spot over and over and over, it's going to cause a groove and a indention, right? That's how I see it. I mean, did that answer the question?
Yeah, I guess if anyone else in chat has a question for one, just put it out there and she can see that question. Please.
Is there any more questions, or should we change the topic or add more things?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's up to Cats. Topic change.
Yeah, I don't have anything else really to add. If no one else has any questions, I mean, the rest of my stuff will come up later after I do a little bit more research into the things I'm still looking into.
Yeah, like we were talking before we started. You're concentrating on the earthquake data, but there's also volcano activity that's going on as well, and there's connection with that as well. But you just haven't got into it. But
Yeah.
there's definitely a correlation there.
Yeah, what I do know, I mean, the very little bit I do know is that say a volcano was to blast and send off, maybe how high, like 25,000 foot plume, maybe that's about a 5.0 earthquake. So you register it like that. Like every time a volcano blasts, it's still the pressure releasing out of the earth. It's just coming out a different way. Does that make sense?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
James explained it once
Oh, did he?
or twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What else, Crow? Can you think of anything else right now?
No, I'm just trying to wrap this around my head right now. Again, this is pretty much pretty new to me. Like, obviously, it's still flat. But
Mike,
we okay. What cat? What
no,
cat
go
can I
ahead,
have?
finish.
Tommy has a question.
All right. Tom has a question. He says something about salt water. Does this help the grid electrically?
Hmm. I would think so. I mean, because isn't salt? I mean,
A
I'm not the
conductor?
chemist. Yeah,
Usually a
isn't it a
conductor?
conductor? I mean, is Jimbo still in the chat? Because he's probably more along the lines of knowing that kind of stuff as far as the salt. I
Mhm.
thought it was some kind of a conductor, wasn't it? I don't know. That's a good
Yeah.
question. You can look it up real fast.
Yeah.
I think it is actually. There's been experiments where you add the salt and you start to oscillate or get the water in motion, and it'll I think it gets the electrons moving,
Yeah.
and
I'm
it
not a
creates some
professional,
sort of.
but that's just what came to my mind, the conductor of it. So yeah, I can't quote me.
Okay,
Please
so it
don't.
says, oh, sorry, it says right here when salt dissolves in water, negative and positive ions are pulled in opposite ways by an electrical field. This creates an electrical current. So the answer is yes.
All right. Who? Okay. Whew.
I said electrons.
You made me look smart there for a
Derp.
second. I'm not used to
Derp.
this, cats.
It's all good.
But yeah, I was saying. So obviously, it is flat in your view, right? It is flat.
In my
But
view?
yeah, like
Oh, yes.
okay. So
Yeah, absolutely.
because I'm just like picturing people just like, oh, this is a disinformation, blah blah blah. But like this is you're doing your tests. FPV is doing his test, and not everybody, has to, I don't know, agree with it. You guys doing it for yourself, and hopefully, we find answers. And I can't wait for Sandra and them to figure out like the moon and sun and if it correlates to your, you know, data. So I think it's fascinating and good job on the maps. UNPF.
Yeah. It's still ongoing, so
Yeah,
we'll
and
see what we.
yeah, exactly. And I don't think anybody should, rush to judgment. This is a work in progress. And like you guys was humbly enough to say, if anybody finds error, please let them, you two know. And that's all you guys can ask for, and that's all they, you know, can oblige. If they want to, disagree, find the fault
Yeah.
line in this. Get it? No, no, too early. Sorry. The fault line. It's a
I got
it's a vol
it.
it's an earthquake. Volcano jokes, people. Come on. It's a tough crowd.
I got it.
Okay,
Anyway,
thank you.
um, yeah, if they find flaws, I mean, hey, let me know. Because, I mean, I'm really, really studying this stuff to get it right. And I'm
Yeah,
not really releasing it until I feel like it's correct.
and I think that's
So,
what you two are asking people. Like, please help us. If it's so easy to, I guess, to use the word debunk. That's what you guys are looking for. Please help us try to find errors or not errors. To either prove us right. There's always that side of the coin. So yeah, I think it's good. So it's up to them to hear your presentation and take it for what it's worth. They can do research on themselves or just whatever. Carry on with their day, I guess.
Yeah, and FPV said he'd be willing to give anyone a map copy that really wants to try to put their work on it, work that they're doing, you know, that they've already done, and try to put it on there and see if it works.
Yay!
Welcome back, PFBI.
Hi guys.
Alrighty. Did you want to take over FPV or?
I'm 20 minutes behind now. Where were we?
We just I was just asking a few questions to just for my sake and maybe other listeners that are listening. But welcome back, and you can either take off, take it from here, or one if you want to add more stuff. That's up to you.
Yeah, cheers, Crow. I didn't ask the chat really if there's any questions on what we've been showing.
Yeah, there's been a
you
few
guys
questions.
Got any questions for us or additions you might want added to the map, or we're just piecing together what we find, and it's looking good so far. But as mentioned a few times, we are looking for other people to help work in this model. We think it's worthy, it's working out nice, real world data is fitting perfectly with it. We can't fault it, everything we're thrown at it seems to work. So we will continue. Great job. Yeah, cheers, Tommy.
FPV, there's a message for you from
Ginger. Yeah. All videos you might find interesting. A map of Egypt in the center. Yeah, well, the Egypt, the Giza pyramid used to be the meridian. It only changed to Greenwich in UK when I think UK stole something from below the pyramid and moved it to UK. That's what it looks like to me. And the meridian became UK, or they've done it to hide some landmass somewhere, perhaps, moved it west and hid something in the east more, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the reason why they did it, but that's what seems to have happened. But yeah, I agree. The meridian used to be the Giza pyramid. That's what it would look like to me. It's even been referenced in scripture as a monument. It's been there a long time. That tells you, doesn't it? Various scripture has mentioned the pyramid or pyramids. There's more than one. yeah, and like one says that we think they were like power stations of the past. Now, to scale that upwards, my theory would be, instead of building lots of giant pyramids, just build millions of homes that people live in and have that suck of the energy back into the grid. Connect them all to the grid from a power station and harvest the energy down the return line. That's what I think is happening personally. I think, we're getting energy from the electricity company, but where they're getting it, they're harvesting free energy and sending us it, and then I'm pretty sure the return line's harvesting some back from possibly the wiring in your home. I'm not sure how it works, but there shouldn't be anything going back down the return line. We only pay what we use for, so what's going down the return line? Something weird there, isn't it? When you think about that, I think we're harvesting it without knowing it, and it's going back to them down the return line. Just a theory, but when you think of a power station, scale it up, just build millions of homes and have them harvest it for you.
Yeah, it's a good theory. All good stuff, man. I keep saying this is really good research, and it'd be great to get more people on board and get different interpretations of the data that's being presented. Like I said, different people have a different interpretation, and maybe they'll have something else to add to it or to deduct to it. But more people need to get on board, and
yeah, I mean, if you guys up there have got any theories on what's going on and what we're displaying, or what we might have missed, or something you can add to it that we can't cover everything. For two people, I think we're doing an amazing role. We are, we won. We're covering all kinds, just the two of us alone. So yeah, any help appreciated. If you know
everyone has their place. Some people.
What we do need definitely need someone that can do animations, because one animation's made of the a 30-day sun and moon scenario, like from the Book of Enoch, as the calendar, and moving it from portal to portal to see if it matches real world sightings of the sun and moon, say where the rise and sink from set. Sorry. So there's that to look at. So that would need an. I don't think my computer could handle doing like 30 days at a time of them kind of animations. But if someone could overlay the sun, just the sun going over the map, and then change it portal to portal. So we do. Only information we've got on how the portals work is what's in the Book of Enoch, and there's good descriptions of it there. They give you the sun like changes once a month. The moon does it a lot more regular than the sun. It changes portals a lot quicker, it seems. So if we could get someone to help with animating that onto the map, it only has to be in a 3D environment, and we could see how it works and see if it works with the data we're seeing. I think it would. We're debunked zero gravity, guys. So what's holding the sun and moon up and moving them around? We've got an answer to that in this model, and it's projection technology. So those halos, because you'll always find the sun navigating them when it's spray barium. It shows them up. So to me, it's a viable, workable model, and it's making sense. I keep forgetting to look at chat, see if there's anyone asking questions. Hello, chatters. Let's have a look. Yeah, what we're paying for, June, but it's not electricity. What they're giving us. It's communism through utility bills, basically, isn't it? Extortion. Bill that just keeps going up as well, doesn't it? Wages aren't going up, but the bills are.
Yeah, we got to pay for our smart meters.
Yeah, smart meters that can set on fire.
Yeah.
It could be a Soros meter, yeah. George Soros built them. I wouldn't trust them. It's going to be rigged already, isn't it?
Oh.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Teddy. Hello, MG. How's it going, mate? Listen, hi to the guys in chats. Keep forgetting to do that. Yeah, so what did you think of the new presentation material then? I think that what order I should have put it in. That was kind of thrown together quickly, no script or nothing. They just spoke through it as I played it. I thought it would have lasted longer than that. It seemed to take longer to make. You fly through it.
No, I liked it. It's
Ron said he can plot the sun, moon, planets, and stars.
Ooh, nice one, Ron. Yeah, that's what we need, mate. We need someone plotting them on this map to see how it's working. With the 30-day calendar in mind, I think we have to use that calendar and get away from this Gregorian calendar, because that's what I was going to say to you, Ron. The equinoxes and solstices, I don't know if you listened earlier. I noticed the June one, we had it down as the 21st, but when you look at the mimic map data, all the transmissions and happenings were happening on the 6th of June. So I think it's different days. It's not going to be dead on the 21st. So it was on the. If you look at the mimic for the 6th, the signals going around the world were going crazy. That tells me that's when it switched into into the summer mode. All this activity, there's technology coming online and technology going offline. It was a switch. And if you look at the mimic on the 6th of June, I can't remember which year it was, if it was last year or the year before. It's either 2016 or 2017, but check the 6th of June, Ron. And I think we should do that now. In fact, check the mimic map around the solstices and equinoxes, see when the antenna signaling is going crazy, and put that down as the actual equinox change day, and then look at the earthquake data for that day, and I think we'll see, something totally different happening. It looks like there's a lot of switching goes on that day. We're just tracking the day down really to the best way, I think, is the mimic map. Look at the mimic map, find the dates all going crazy, and then plot that as the actual equinox day, or the solstice day, depending on which we're looking at. But as you can see, guys, we're still learning and adjusting and modifying where needed. So that's one way. That was me earlier. I was looking at the mimic maps and realised that the equinoxes aren't actually happening on the days they say. Some are earlier, some can even be later. But you've got to put that down to the Gregorian calendar and the Enochian calendar differences. There's going to be differences. It's never going to be on the 21st all the time. But it won't be far off. It could be a week, 2 week off. Say. But that's a lot. You can miss information. You can miss good data there if you don't get the date right. So yeah, we'll have to use the mimic as the primary source for looking at the equinoxes and solstices, because you'll see all the switching going on with the signaling that you notice there. So yeah, we adapt to that now. We can adapt to that and modify as needed. What about you, Cats? You got any questions?
No. No, I don't. Sorry.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Crow, you're so funny.
Do you like the geoglyph decodings and of how the transmissions work? The aerial, the land, and the marine.
I've seen that.
Did you like that deduction?
That's the first time I've seen it. I never saw it before.
Yeah, I just made that yesterday and today.
No, did you?
Yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to show you the Nazca lines, the blueprints of them, so you can see it's not just geoglyphs. It's actual structure and designs of antenna. There's large antenna sending these signals. What kind of antenna, I have no idea, but you look at the signals, they're not signals I've ever seen before. You can look at a lot of radio signals, and I've never seen any come out in them kind of shapes and forms before. But it's a technology or signals I've not seen. Someone else out there might have seen them, but I don't think they would have. You might see them on the mimic map, but what is producing them? Technology that's probably beyond our scope of thinking anyway, looking at it.
Oh. Well,
It's probably copiable. I can see they've copied HARP. HARP's a copy of what's down at Antarctica. It's all everything they made since the early 1900s tells me that they've reverse engineered everything they can find and slowly fed it to the world. And one day, you could go to Antarctica, see this technology, and not even recognize it. It'll be rebadged, relabeled, and a new coat of paint on it, say, and I think NASA or someone made it, but no, it's always been there. They're just reverse engineering it. But it tells me, you look around at the volcanoes, guess who's got bases all around these volcanoes or wants to drill into them? NASA. Ask yourself, what's a space agency doing playing with volcanoes? They've got a very big interest in volcanoes. So yeah, their real role is care maintenance, upgrading and reverse engineering of said technologies. And there's been a slow rollout into the world. And believe it or not, you're all guilty of using this technology that's been stolen from whoever created it. You have to think of that. Computers, everything has been derived from what they found at Antarctica and below.
You just did that today, or?
I've been doing it over the last few days. That work you've seen before. There's other work going on as well, but I haven't had a chance to put it into video form yet.
Now, is this from Peru? You talking about the Nazca lines, or is this different?
In fact, if you guys use Google Earth, these geoglyphs, petroglyphs, hieroglyphs, whatever you want to call them or whatever type you look at, they tell a story, and you're gonna have to look at it again with a technological aspect. They're trying to tell you in 3D images of how it works. Now, the Nazca lines I've come across and been working with all to do with antennas and radio transmissions so far, and obviously some structures and volcanoes and things thrown in. But there's going to be other ones out there that probably detail other goings on that we haven't seen yet. They just need found in various countries. It's not. That's what I'm saying. It's not unique to Peru. The blueprints for the antennas are, they're pretty unique, and it's all on the Nazca plane. and the surrounding hillsides. But I'm pretty sure other countries are going to have geoglyphs or petroglyphs or whatever in that need decoded with that kind of mindset, and it'll tell you a different story. You might find other things that plug into this that we haven't seen yet.
Well, I know that these pyramids that are in Peru and other South America and, the Middle East, all the connections are there for sure.
Yeah, the hieroglyphs in the Middle East, they need looked at. There's plenty of things out in the desert, markings, shapes to look at and study. A lot of things, same at Nazca, there's a lot of things buried, yet when it rains a lot or they get a gale blowing, it starts clearing the path and you start seeing new things. They're always finding new geoglyphs at Nazca. When it rains or a strong windy day, it can blow sand away and reveal things. And they're still finding that today. They're still finding new geoglyphs.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how many they've found. I haven't got a list of how many's been officially found. And when you look at them in Google Earth, it's really hard to see them. Google Earth, it's got a sharp image until you get to areas of interest like Nazca, and then it's all obscured and blurry and really hard to work with. You've got to start looking, go back in time on the time frame and try and find a clearer image of when they took an image over that site. Yeah, they make it hard for a reason. I'm decoding what they decoded 100 years ago, basically. 100 years ago, when man took to the sky, they flew over Nazca, Peru. They were seeing these geoglyphs. They've been decoding them ever since. Then came the race to Antarctica. Raiders of the Lost Ark for real. Get to Antarctica. Who owns Antarctica runs the world. The heart of the machine is 0.0 just off the coast of Africa. The brain of the machine is down at Antarctica because that's where all the signaling's coming from. And World War II, I watched the Russian documentary, and they says they mainly noticed, I'll call them the globalists, moving huge manpower and equipment to Antarctica in the 1930s. So yeah, they were moving in. And I think that's the gateway to the underworld. That's my theory anyway. And it seems to be coming true.
Well, there is so much still connection with the Nazca runs. Just where all the other connections are at to lead to it.
Yeah, there's a lot more to see there. I could put it on my Google. I'll try it. I don't think it plays very well on me. You get a black screen, but I'll try it. I'll try and put the Google Earth on and show you what I've been doing there. You'll see what I've been trying to map out and find new areas and locations where there's geoglyphs or other parts of the story there. I just hope it shows in here, because normally you get a black screen on here now. I'll try it. Let's have a look. Yeah, I can't see the screen there. Can you see the screen? It'd be a big, horrible, globy looking thing.
It's just white.
Yeah, it started doing that not long ago. It used to work. No, it doesn't seem to.
Yeah.
What
Oh
about
well, can't
maps?
show you that then.
What about
I can't show you
maps?
that.
Would Google Maps work?
I haven't got these marked on Google Maps though. It's on
Oh.
my Google. Hold on, I'll grab a screenshot off it. That'll be easier. Hold on.
Say, Crow, what do you think so far?
Yes, I'm very impressed by the presentation. That's why I had a few questions. For one, like I said, I was just taking this all in, and I'm very fascinated again by all the activities near the sea shoreline, the ocean shorelines, especially from, the west, from, all the way from Alaska all the way to even Argentina. It's just fascinating, the activity that's going. I don't know what it all means, but um, yeah, I'm very impressed with the hard work that you guys been putting into this. I'm very new to this, and I appreciate all the time you put in.
Yeah, it's a thrill. It is. It's a thrill and a pleasure doing this kind of work. A year ago, I didn't think for 1 minute I'd be presenting my own work to people. I came to Flat Earth from politics. Watched it for about a year, and in the last year or so, I've been like doing my own research and coming up to these conclusions. Once I start making the connections with what I've seen at Nazca. That's if you see that image there, that's where I've put push pins on these Nazca lines. Now, roughly in the centre of that lot is the known ones. All these ones in the north, south, east, and west of that's the centre batch. There's not much information about them, but they exist, and that's what I've been doing. Of like marking them out. You'll just look around the terrain. You'll come across some under the dust and follow them. Then they lead nowhere. Then they'll come back somewhere else. Every day, it's giving something new. I can find something new there to put on the maps there. But I mean, they're going outside of our realm. Our known world, on looking at them there, so that was our world. Our known world would be the centre of that, and everything on the north, south, east, and west of it is outside of our realm, basically. But it shows, if this is true to scale, it's showing you there's things outside of our 12 by 12 grid in all directions. Yeah, them, I can't even put them on the map. I haven't got a map that goes that far out to put them on. I've only got the map we've got. So yeah, it tells me there's more land out there, obviously.
How long have you been a flat earther?
Probably just over 2 years or so now.
Okay.
I'd seen it pop up before, and I used to watch. You follow politics. So what got me to Flat Earth was we're following politics. I was noticing these high-profile people sneaking off to Antarctica a lot. I thought, well, what do they keep going there for? And then when you look at Antarctica, you start seeing Flat Earth popping up. I ignored it the first few times. I thought, what's that about, Flat Earth? What century are they living in? That's the kind of thinking I had then. And then it just kept popping up. And I thought, well, Antarctica, Flat Earth, what's going on here? That's when I started looking more into Flat Earth, and I scrapped looking at politics. I just came over to Flat Earth instead.
He's responsible for cats getting into Flat Earth. Do you remember what videos you guys watched?
The 200 proofs I devise. I used to watch. I'm sure it was Dell in his early days. I don't know if he goes that far back or not. I can't remember. I can remember seeing his face somewhere on a video. Well, I was stream chasing. I would chase them all and go into the chats. Like I said, the first year I just sat and watched it and took notes, and slowly but surely you watch the globe getting destroyed, and you think, wow. I tried myself and tried to prove Flat Earth's fake, and I couldn't because, where's the curve? No curve, there's no balls, game over. It didn't take me, it took me 5 minutes of research really to come to my own conclusion that it's not a spinning ball. And that's, it's just come by looking at other people's work. And then my two questions were, well, why would they lie about the shape of the world and how does it work? And the work we're putting out now kind of answers that. The why is because they reverse engineer it and getting very rich from it. How does it work? Well, slowly we're unraveling that, and this is where we're coming from, the technological aspect. You got to consider technology being part of this, because you look at the Nazca lines, there's the blueprints, and it's technology among it. Antenna designs. Yeah, it's
awesome.
Two and two together. Two and two together like that, and then expand on it, and it just keeps expanding outwards. And so far, so good. It's working.
And Katz, how's that journey going for you? Coming from politics with FPV and now getting into this transition and now watching him do the research.
I'm sorry, what was that?
So now, how's the journey going coming from politics with FPV and now being in Flat Earth and watching him do this research
Oh gosh.
and us having this sort of dialogue and whatnot.
Look, to me, it's a very good experience for me, honestly. Coming from politics to Flat Earth into now this research, it's a pleasure to be in this part of Flat Earth. It brings it all together for me. Being part of it, it made me think a lot more about our Earth. You can say, or how it's formed. I don't know what else to say. Politics is what brought me here. And I think, like you said before, Totter, that this is, what is it, a movement for Flat Earth has a politics. I think that's how you said it, or maybe I said it wrong. But
well, yeah, politics it is sort of like a political movement in a sense, because it does have to do, it has a lot to do with the infrastructure and stuff. There's a reason why they're hiding a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like FPV was saying, why are they hiding it? Well, there you go. Various reasons, but yes. Yeah, cats. What else, FPV? Anything else you wanted to add to that story?
Well, the Antarctic Treaty, you can see why that's there now, because if you went there, you would see how the world really works. You're going to see the sun and moon and possibly other luminaries doing some really strange things you would not expect to see them doing. You've seen them yourself, Trotter, and them. You'll, oh, that's what I was going to show you. Yeah, well reminded. I've got another video to show you.
Oh, cool, yeah.
I'm gonna debunk Newmere Station for you right now. Where's that at?
Oh, this should be good.
It could be this one. Let's have a look. No, that's the old one. This one here, maybe. Yeah, right, this one will do. Yeah, remember I told you they're having 24-hour sun down in Antarctica. Although it's coming from a stationary light source, it's not the sun moving around the sky. You can see the sun going past, but the 24-hour sun is not coming from the sun as such. It's a stationary light source. What I'm going to show you here is it's actually just a big stage set. It's a green screen stage set. Take a look at the building, guys, and look around the edges of all the structure. You'll start seeing ghosting, like a line that shouldn't be around the edge of it. Can you see it? Look underneath the building and look above it, and you'll see fuzziness around all the objects. That can only happen if there's a green screen behind them. You'll see when it pans back, and I change it to a night vision mode, and you'll see it even easier. If you look at them vehicles or the buildings, you'll see there's like a shadow on the edge of it that shouldn't be there. You see this? You see it under the building on the corner? There's something there that shouldn't be there. Same on the roof, on the top. Look around this whole structure. You see on the top there, near that ball-shaped thing? Weirdness that shouldn't be there around all the objects. Look underneath the building. You'll actually see the square screens. You see them there? Under where it says Newmere Station, you can actually see the green screen squares. But it's a green screen behind that building, guys, so that's a complete stage set. So what you're seeing in the sky there is not real. It's fake. It's, they're faking it like they do with ISS. Just a fake background going on. And the 24-hour sun, whatever it is, it's behind that building.
I was going to ask you, what do you think they're trying to hide there?
Well, they're trying to prove the globe by saying there's 24-hour sun in the Antarctic as you get in the north, but they're faking it. Why would if there's 24-hour sun in the south, Why would they be using a green screen and the stationary light source to fake daylight? It's had 24-hour daylight since the 12th of December. I've been watching it daily. It has not had a night mode since the 12th of December. But the light source is from a stationary source. It is not got the sun moving around the sky. I'll try and find a video of that. Hold on. All right, this is the 24-hour sun. What's the date on that? I can't see the date on that. Can you see the date at the top of the screen there? All right, 12. That's when it started having 24-hour daylight. It didn't go to night mode, the camera. The night mode you're seeing there is me switching it. So you see the light source? I put it into a night vision mode so you can see where the light source is coming from. Watch carefully, it's from a stationary object behind that building. You can see it? You can see it radiating there. That's what's creating the 24-hour daylight there. Whatever it is, it's some kind of a bright light behind that building. And it's definitely, you know, that's not the sun, that's something stationary sitting on or near the ground. You can't hide it, can you? You can see there, it's something's radiating light, and you can see it. But you'll also notice the sun going past in the sky in the background now and then, so it's not the sun. It could be a NASA sun simulator or, you know, something like that. I'm just guessing there. But it's something that's producing a bright light, a bright output to give it the daytime appearance. It's definitely fake. There's the sun there, look, taken off. Yeah, that light source is still there. You can see it there radiating. That's been going on since the 12th of December. And it's still ongoing now. But like I said, there's a green screen there. So they're faking light with whatever that is. In fact, if you look on the, I think it's the 21st and 22nd, I caught them using the same clouds two different days. They might be on here. There, see that cloud? It looks like a tornado. I do this comparison here. Watch, this is 2 different days, and you'll see the same cloud getting used on both images. And the date on the one on the right actually jumps back a day when they use the same cloud from the day before. Keep watching, and you'll see the same cloud. These are supposed to be 2 different days. So they must be running out of clouds to use. So they're reusing the same clouds on the animations, or whatever they're using to project onto that green screen. There's the one on the left. It kind of looks like a tornado. Watch on the right. The right's the 22nd, but watch the date. Jump back to the 21st. There, see it? They're reusing the same clouds on the day after. So you've got the same clouds in both scenes with 2 different scenes going on. Yeah, they're cheating.
That's a good find there.
Yeah, you've got to look at everything twice, 3 times to confirm it. But yeah, it's very suspicious, isn't it? The ghosting around all the objects tell me it's a green screen behind them. And stationary light source, well, it's not the sun, is it? Unless there is a sun sitting hovering there, waiting for its moment. Who knows?
What do you guys think? What does the rest of the panel think? Cats.
I'm sorry. I had to step away for a minute. What happened there? What was your question?
Oh, he was showing us the Newmeyer station. and some fakery that's going on.
Oh, I was seeing that before. Where all the lights and these, what are these? But the cars, not cars, but what are they called for the snow? I've
Yeah,
seen
it's
it.
probably fake snow on a big stage set. You know, they do it. They don't do it on a small scale. They do it on a grand scale. Remember,
Yeah.
it's just like the moon landing set, but out in the snow, fake snow probably.
hmm Didn't we just seen this not long ago? Or is it a different one? Or is it a what?
You've seen it before. I just hadn't showed you the night mode so you could see better the stationary light source. So I changed it so you could see it better.
Did
But yeah, it's the one you've seen before. Apart from the bit where it shows you the green screen, I thought I'd better add that. I started noticing that when it's in the two clouds, the same. I thought, yup, green screen. And then I zoomed in on the building, and that's when you see all the ghosting around all the objects in the foreground. That happens because you've got a green screen behind them.
so? Can it be CGI as well, or no?
Well, it kind of is, yeah. Whatever's on that screen's not real. Behind that building, that green screen, getting an image projected onto it through software.
Wow.
So that sky, those clouds, they're not real. The light source looks real to me. Something's there giving a bright light source. But you can't see it, it's masked out. But they can't mask out the light radiating from it. And to show you where it is. It's roughly behind that building, whatever it is, the stationary light source. And it does look very bright, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think one time you went and you checked to see its location on your map, and there's some sort of activity going on. There was like a PowerPoint or some sort.
Yeah, it looks like it's the center grid where the sun would come up from south of Antarctica. There's a line coming up right the center. It looks like it's come up. So, if it was the sun, I was thinking, wow, the sun's come up this line, and it's actually stopped and paused when I first seen it. And then, slowly but surely, you think, no, it's something fake going on here. That's a sun simulator, or who knows what. But yeah, it's fake, But if they're using that to fake 24-hour sunlight, they just give the game away using a green screen and a stationary light source.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes if some of this information that's being released is even just total disinformation altogether. You know what I mean?
Well, if you look back at the clips from Newmere, I think the older ones are worth more looking at, the ones where you see some light materializing before your eyes, basically. They could be the genuine ones. I need to find when they started using the green screen. If we go back at looking at different clips, eventually you'll find a clip that hasn't got the ghosting around the edges. And you can say, well, that one's genuine. There's no green screen in use, so what's happening in that scene is probably real. I need to go back at all the videos of Newmare now and kind of find the real stuff.
That was put out 6-8 years ago or more, and the UFO community was saying it was Planet X or some sort of UFO. Yeah, those are a couple suggestions they were making. But
when you watch them, it's pretty obvious it's the sun and moon and other luminaries going past as well.
Yeah.
What looks like extreme low altitude as well, doesn't it? Just skimming over the water by the look of it.
Yeah, that was really interesting. If you can go back and look at those videos. I think I shared some with you one time.
Yeah,
you're like, yep, I've seen those. Yep, you're like, I saw those. Yep.
I need to look at them again though now, to rule out which ones are real and which ones have got green screen.
Well, there's one where the entire building just gets taken by the sun or something. It just manifests. It just all of a sudden the whole station is engulfed in the sphere, and then it just cuts out.
Yeah, cuts it out. Cuts it out when it moves off.
It was just pretty wild. I mean, but those are old videos, and if they're real, I don't know.
That's probably before they used the green screen. You were seeing what was really happening, and people making videos about it. So they've introduced the green screen to make things look a bit more natural with the sun going past. But they start using the same clouds, it gets a bit obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor attempt at deceiving the public.
Hey, one, you put in the chat something about food-wise as well, CGI food.
Yeah.
Are they really doing that too?
Yeah, I saw it in a magazine. There's a printer that you can print food. You put the ingredients in these little test tubes inside the printer and it prints out your food.
Oh my,
Yeah.
more fake.
Yep. It's all fake.
I wonder what more is out there fake. Well, mostly everything, but what is the next item or that they're going to do more fake on? If they did it on food, imagine something else.
People
Yeah, that's what I think.
be printing out the girlfriends and boyfriends. Put
Yeah,
in specific what you want and how they want them to act, and boop, boop, boop. There you go.
Yeah, Tommy Rogers made a good point. That he said that there's a dude from NASA when asked what was fake, he said literally everything.
Yeah.
So food for thought. That that's true. He did say that. That maybe everything we know should be questioned.
Anybody else have any questions? You guys want to do a topic change or what? Just throwing it
Sure.
out there.
Sure. Any topics? There was. Oh, let's say something. There was someone in there in chats way early. He said something like he knows that flat Earth it's flat. There's no. We should not even talk about flat Earth anyways. He was saying something about the topic says chemtrails and what happened in California with the laser, to put him on fire. He said that we should move on from flat Earth now, which we all agree that we should.
Mhm.
But he did mention that we should move on. But yeah, I mean, we need to get Michelle X back on the panel, and go more into it again on it, which I told her we will. She has a lot to say still on chemtrails on that. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems that certain chems are used in certain areas.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That different
Hotter areas are seem to be getting
worse.
certain. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I mean, we see blue skies. Well, here in Arizona, we see them, and then suddenly you see all the chemtrails coming down, which is sad. But yeah, that topic will never stop because I think more info is coming in about chemtrails, which I need to look into too now. If there's new info coming in. So yeah, the more we be on topic on the top of it.
Lisa White said, "Did you say you can print out your own boyfriend, girlfriend? Is that what you just said?
I said.
And what do I need to use for that? What do I need to buy?"
No, what we said was you can print out food, and then Kat said, "Well, what's next?" And I said, "People will be printing out their boyfriends and girlfriends soon."
Oh,
Can't do it
cats.
already. You can't do it already.
Not yet, cats.
You probably print body parts out already, I would say.
I didn't say anything. Sorry. Going back to chemtrails. So yeah, we must get Michelle back. I really think this topic is it. I think it's getting worse more than ever. Um,
I was having a chat with Michelle a few nights ago and explaining the work a bit more, our work, our research to her. She gets it more and more now. She understands it. She actually agrees with it.
mhm.
Because you can relate parts of this to scripture. Well, we can relate this to scripture, the airlines, the energy grid, you name it. It all just falls in place once you start with it. And yeah, it presents a bigger picture. That's what we're doing, guys. We're presenting the big picture, which now needs broken down into its macro level to see how everything works in this picture. Basically, what we're doing here, and we're trying to break parts of it down as well as we go along. But we do need help.
Yeah. Well, she is the person to bring on back about chemtrails and what's the other Mongolians. That's what he said too. He wants to hear about that.
Well, he's right, but we just try to have we want to touch a lot of different areas. You know what I mean? We do go after the collusion and all the conspiracies. Yes, we get into that. And tonight was just more of a get up to speed. What's going on with FPV and one conscience's work with her
Yeah,
data, and just that was really more of like a recap. That's what
yeah,
that
just
was. But
like
yeah,
yes,
we do talk a lot about a lot of different things.
yeah,
Definitely.
just like yesterday was about the hospital nursing. So many topics to.
I think, guys, pulled the cable up. We'll have to reconnect. Back in a sec.
Okay. Yeah, well, there's a lot of topics we do get a hold of. So again, this is just to get a recap on their findings and
Hmm. Are you back, FPV?
Oh, okay. Did he leave for a minute?
I don't know. I didn't know if you guys were still there. I was like, wait a minute, did I get dropped? Nobody answered. I was like, okay, it says live still, but
This Michelle one, does she know about healing plants, right? Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Michelle X, she knows about plants, right?
Oh, I'm not sure. Does she?
I think she
I,
said she did.
that'd be cool. She has a lot of good info. I really enjoyed listening to her.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Because if she, I need to email her. I have her email. Let's see if she knows. Because if she does, I can also bring Wiz on the panel because he knows a lot of it too. And I just have to get a hold of both of them. I emailed that some lady in Northern California, and she hasn't responded. And I might have to just send her another email. She has so much videos out there that she's taken. How they are pouring so much chemtrails, and she has some like white, white chemtrails, and then she has that dark black. And she also lives around that farming area as well. She's in the Northern California. I just gotta go back. I saved her link, so to, to see if I can email her again. Um, what do you think, Tyler? Hey, Crow, what do you think about chemtrails?
I am a novice to it. Have not done a lot of research on it. I know people that you know think what the government are doing to us, but I'm very limited in that area.
And GMOs, fluoride, vaccines. What do you think about them?
Yeah, all those things. Yeah, I just figured like if that's what they're doing, then I can't do nothing about it. But I mean, like especially fluorine too. I mean, fluoride that yeah, it's dangerous. You know, with the water situation that they're putting in, it's just it's amazing how these people, the government, are doing every little things to affect the society and how we think.
Mm.
The power that they have all on the masses, actually. And shout out to Wake the sheeple. He was in the chat. I wanted to give him a shout out. I know he went to bed already, but I missed it. But it's always nice to see people in chat that you haven't seen in a long while. So
Yeah, I mean, we know chemtrails are, they have a lot of different applications. So um, definitely more research needs to be done, and I mean that's basically what it is. But you know, until then, it's just we're just being inundated.
Mm-hmm. Like they say in school, back to the books.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys on the panel can clarify or verify this that it's illegal in California to drink rain, or like I've heard that. I'm not sure if it's true, but anybody know anything about that?
Um, I know in some areas, in some states, like here in Arizona for sure.
Oh, really? Did they
Yeah.
say why you can't drink?
Well, what's going on is that one is because all the chemtrails, when it rains, it brings all that stuff down. Okay, that's one thing. But it also at the same time, when the rain comes really hard, it clears it and clean water comes down. So a lot of people, what they do, they have barrels and they let the water fill. What they do, then they cover it and then they use it. They boil it and then to clean it out, whatever is there. But or they use it for their gardening, like planting and stuff, their trees, their flowers, whatever plants. But in California, here in Arizona, they, as I know, they're trying not for us to um, collect the water. They say because of the mosquitoes, okay, but it's just a way of saying you can't do this, you can't do that, but many do still do it, like I said, because of the plants and not wasting water. Now in California, I believe they do because they have a certain amount to use their water or you get fined. They haven't changed it yet. It's still the same, the law, which is sad because you know how many people wash or their cars or their clothes, whatever the case may be, they can't use um, the water usage. And somehow they know when you do, and they'll fine you. So yeah, many collect their water for that reason to, give water to the plants and stuff. But they're trying so hard to make us not keep our water. That I believe, okay, that that is one of their agendas. They don't want us to keep water at all whatsoever in our backyards until in those barrels. And if they do find out, they'll come and make sure you drop it, on the floor or they take it, whatever the case may be. But here in Arizona is one of them because of the droughts, I could say. Um, I'm trying to think more because I try to stay up with the laws in Arizona because a lot of times they change this, when they go into this meetings they change a lot of it sometimes without us knowing, or sometimes we have to vote on it. But the water system here for where I live, it's also the same. You can't really use our water, if there's a certain time. I think in a lot of places have for sure. But in Arizona, we only can use so much. I think it's a certain time, like early in the morning to plant your water, or late night. But if you put a gallon of water underneath each of your trees, it helps it to have oxygen, which they, for some reason, many people do that, and I sure do, and the trees do get oxygen, especially if there's chemtrails. I put more gallons of water underneath so they can have oxygen, they can breathe, because reality they're also are dying. So I mean, they're trying to hit us everywhere. Our water supply, our food supply, our air supply. All these topics like we were talking earlier on this hangout. But yeah, they're gonna try to control us more of our water supplies. It's called like, oh my god, I forgot how it goes. But if there's if something, oh god, I forgot. I used to do this in school, but it's like quality. It's more demand. If you have more demand or less demand, it's almost like, ah, god, it's been a while. I'm not gonna go there because I forgot. But anyways, the water supplies, they will attack us on water supplies. And I say all the states in the United States because that's what they want to do. Just as our food supplies. That's what it is, supplies and demand. So if you demand more supplies, the higher the prices go. The less the prices go, the less demands there are. So, but yeah, there is in California for sure. They have a limit of water wasting, or whatever they're trying to stop them from using water. Don't they say because of the drought? I'm not sure, but they did pass that law. I think it's like 2 years. I think, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Really, about putting gallons of water. It helps your trees, though. It really does. In your plants, you name it, whatever you have growing in your yard, put a gallon of water. It does help them.
Hey guys, I'm back. I don't think you hear me. I couldn't hear you before.
Hey, man, welcome back.
Yeah, I got up and you got the headphones on. I pulled the plug out, and it's yeah, like quarter the volume you were before now.
Does that help you, Crow? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that really helped me. Your short answer really helped me. That's a lot of information about rain, though. I mean, like, is everything illegal? It's weird. Like,
Well, it's like electricity, okay? We're all talking it should be free.
yeah,
Unfortunately, we have to pay for it. But our electricity here, since it's Arizona, goes high in the summertime. Big time. You can, in the household of 4 or 6, your electricity can hit, if you have AC, can hit to $400, $600 a month. That's how high it is. But they also want to raise our taxes on our electricity again, which is BS. Because you have you have your city, you have your state, then you have other taxes on top of that. I forgot the other one. I think FPV might know that. But so they're doing that in electricity. Now our gas, as well. So our taxes are going to go up. It should have been up already, I think in March, they say. So now in the wintertime, it's the same thing. It can average to 200 because of the heat, but right now we haven't had our coldness, you can say. So our bills are not that high right now. But our main thing is our summer is very high here because of the heat. So, I mean, our water tax where I live went up as well. All taxes are going up for some reason, and it's not to help us; it's to help themselves. I'm gonna say. So where I live, many people are leaving my city to go to another city because the taxes are lower than where I live, and it's because it's a bigger city. And but yeah, I mean, that's why I said Jojo. I understand him because taxes, they shouldn't even go up. Electricity, our gas, our water, but they're hitting us everywhere. I wish I could get off the grid, but again, we live in the city. We can't. Okay. And so your state, Tutter, how is it there? I mean, with the taxes and stuff going up, or you haven't? Oh, crow.
Yeah, I have no idea what the taxes here.
Yeah, I always watch my bills because they always sneak something in there, big time. And I know by laws they're not supposed to, but there's some. I can't fight them. They're gonna say, "Well, you have to pay. This is it," you know. But there's some tax that they're not supposed to tax. Now, as I know, that was supposed to change through Trump administration, and it hasn't. So I always watch out my bills and look at it carefully, what they're charging me, what tax I'm paying, because I know there's like every 6 months you pay your home tax, your state tax, federal
Yeah,
tax.
property tax.
Yeah, and I pay mine every 6 months.
Yeah.
And that also is, you're paying for the school system, the schools around
Yeah.
here. So that's okay. I don't mind paying for that. But there's so much out there that we shouldn't pay.
Did Trotter fall asleep?
No, I think he's probably step away for a minute. So Juan, tell me about your state. Is it the same? Are they going up on your electricity and your taxes, or have you noticed your bills? Or
Yeah, the water, for instance, the water used to get paid every 3 months, and they moved it to every month and installed smart meters in every home.
I
And
have mine.
if you didn't let them install it, then they would charge you an extra fee for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they did install them, the monthly fee was as much as it was every 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. And the power bills are always about, I mean, there's 3 people that live in my home, and the power bill runs about 250. So it's not as much as you. But yeah, everything's expensive in Macon County where I live. Taxes on food and beverages is 11%.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say something, but my thoughts left. Let's see.
when you were talking about water and them controlling it, that was kind of where I was looking into the dams. They have them strategically placed where they pretty much do control all the water, and they could, hold it from us or let it go on us. The way they've strategically placed all these dams, that's what I was kind of looking into. But yeah, they flood out certain areas to make dams, kill, all the wildlife in those areas.
Mhm.
It's pretty.
That's what I was gonna say. You know the meters that you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would disagree in what they're doing too. They're shutting these offices that been there for so long, where you go pay your bills. They're shutting them down big time. Like here in Arizona, there's only, let me see, two. I think to pay the gas company, and then the SRP and APS are no longer really here. Um, they're out. You have to send out your payment, or now you have to go different areas to pay your bills, which to me it's sad because people lose their jobs because of this. And
That happened. Yeah, that's here too.
yeah, and see, we don't realize like these super, you know, I know it's off the topic, but like these supermarkets, have they have, what is it, what is it, fast check, where you just do it yourself? And that's another thing that I disagreed, because you're taking, again, jobs away from these people, feeding their families. So what I do, I always go to where there's a line, because they're the ones who need the jobs. And those that support them, because if you see like Home Depot, Lowe's, and all them, they're beginning to have their, check yourself out. And like again, I disagree on that. I didn't appreciate what they did, these companies. But if anyone goes in shops, don't use those, honestly, because it's taking, food away from these people, their jobs completely out. And it's not good for us to support that at all. This is like another government way of stopping people from working. In my eyes, I see it. But yeah, it's all deceiving. It's all about greedy. It's all about money making, but they don't realize of the people that their needs, in other words, for their families. And like they say, you take away a job. This is why crimes go up, because they have to go out and make sure that their children eat, whatever the case may be. This is where the crimes go up, especially here in Arizona that I speak for. Um, and so when there's high crime and you're trying to feed your family, really it's the government's fault, and of course, if I have children, grandchildren, or more, but I would do the same. I would go and also do something for them to eat. You know what I'm saying? Anything, even washing cars, whatever the case may be. But it's sad that we are supporting it as well, going to these machines and stuff. So, I don't know if anybody agrees with that, but I'm I disagree.
Oh yeah, Katz, thanks for sharing that.
Mhm. You're welcome. I don't know if how you guys feel, but that's how I feel. I mean, we're supporting them.
I
You
agree
know?
with you. I don't use those either.
Mm-mm. Even if I have to wait for a whole line, I don't mind, because There's those baggers, right? They bag your food and stuff. You look at them. Okay, there's disability people there. If you truly look at them, yeah, your heart is out there so they can have a job. You don't know what their situations they're going through. Again, I disagree. I wish they took them out. I really do. But again, you have to have a lot of signatures for them to take it out. But again, if we don't do anything, it's going to continue because it's going through all the stores. It's not just markets. Now Lowe's and Home Depot has it. And, mom and pops, they haven't had it yet. So, yeah.
I'm nodding my head. I'm agreeing.
Yeah. Do you guys have it over there in the UK?
Of what?
Oh. Where you go in and you pay for your own stuff instead of using a cashier.
Yeah.
So it's there too, huh?
Yeah, there's people help bag it up as well. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much the same, really. You get the same policies that deployed over there as in Europe. America's politics are a mirror of the EU's. If you want to see your future, look to Europe, depending who's running your country, of course.
For changing the subject, Totter. Anonymous, yes. Self-checkout. That's what it's called. But anyways, Totter, you have anything to add or to say?
Not at the moment. I was just thinking about what you were talking about.
Yeah. Don't support them, honestly. You guys, we're supporting the government, by the way, if we do that.
What does the chat say?
Um,
They're talking about baby Jesus.
Shout out to the chat again.
Jibby, Tommy, Lisa, Anonymous, yes. Zane. Let's see. Ginger, Ron, Geo Love, Ginger. I think I said Ginger already. Alec, Josh, Bunsen, Honeydew, of course, one. Scarecrow.
Yeah, where's Crow?
He's quiet.
Yeah, he
has
is.
no jokes. He has no more jokes. Wags his people. And Jimbo.
You guys don't want to hear no jokes.
Truth. What's his name? Truth for Real was here. If I miss anybody, sorry.
Yeah, we do. We want to hear your jokes, Crow. I don't know if he's in the chat, but shout out to Who's Your Flatty. I was laughing at your stuff earlier, bro. That was in the chat there. You put up some really funny stuff. I meant to say that way earlier, but they were engaged in the research dialogue. So
Oh. So, Crow, I have a question. I know, not a question. I know you do music.
Yes.
The one I heard this morning was awesome. I liked it.
Thank you.
Welcome. And I had left you a message saying you and what's his name, Sleeman?
Solomon. Backwards Nameless.
Okay.
Shout out to him. But he made the beat, so awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I hope you make more music, you know, and so does the rest. Scanner, he said.
Yeah, everybody's been putting some good music out there. It's very awesome.
Him. So, I
Yeah,
think
Twin Serpent also has been putting out some really good stuff.
Who?
Oh, Twin Serpent. They got some good stuff. Shout out to them too. Johnny Apples.
Spirit Cat Hunter.
Johnny Apples.
Yeah, yeah,
Coming out.
Johnny Apple.
He was on a hiatus, I guess. So he's back.
Yeah. GB said this to Totter. He says, "Spare the chat, Totter." Laughing out loud.
So funny, man.
Yeah, I mean, Juan, do you have anything else to say?
Oh, not really. I think I'm about spent out. I was actually going to probably say goodnight because I have to go to work in the morning.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, I always work Sundays. The price I pay for Friday, Saturdays off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I think I am going to get off here, and it's been a really great talk, and I'm really glad everybody showed up to listen to what we had to say. It was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, definitely one. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us and sharing what you've been researching, trying to
No
make sense of
problem.
everything here. We're all looking for the truth here, and you're just part of the puzzle here, doing your thing. Everybody, like I said, is the author to their own story. She's doing her thing, and so is FPV, and the roads cross quite often. So here we are.
Beautifully said. That was
Yeah, nice meeting you, Juan.
yeah. Yeah, it was good to meet you. Very good to meet you. We'll all
Thank-
have to hang out again.
Yeah, just
So,
talk regular about yeah.
yep.
Yeah,
I
be good. Be
appreciate
good.
it. Have a good night.
Very good. Yep,
Thank you
I'll
for
see you
coming
guys
on.
later. Yeah, thank you, Cats, for inviting me.
No, my pleasure is mine.
All right,
having
see you
me.
guys later.
Catch you in the headquarters later on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Good night.
Well, I think we're just gonna stop the stream. It is getting a little late for all of us. I thank everybody in chats that came support this hangout again and our hangout. I thank FPV coming, of course, Crow and Tata for sure. I mean, without you guys, our hangout wouldn't be the same. It's my pleasure that you guys are on here.
Well, we thank you for making it possible and giving us a platform to do what we do.
Yeah, thank you so much for tolerating me. I appreciate it.
There you go.
You gotta make me laugh though.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
now I got
pleasure.
restrictions.
It's a pleasure to come here and share what we're learning with you guys. We're glad you're watching it, understanding it, and agreeing it or debating it or pulling it apart. We've got all that to do anyway. Yeah, it all helps, all input, output, you name it. Yeah, thanks for letting us on and tolerate us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good stuff, you guys. So, all right, Katz, if you just want to shut this down, then good night to everybody that's been chilling with us. We'll see you guys around. To all lodge members, we'll see you back at the lodge. And you guys have a good night.
Yeah, good night, chatters. Good night, panel.
Good night.